All right. We're live. We're in your ear holes. My face looks giant today. Well, let me fix this.
Yeah, I feel like
There
we're
we
both
go.
very
That's
close.
better.
All right, let's push this back a little bit here.
There we go. Now I feel better. Kevin, are you intentionally mocking me with your goddamn jet skier?
How would that be mocking you?
Well, Kevin, the Jets cost me an 8-team parlay yesterday.
Oh, I don't care about that. I care about the Jets winning.
Cost me a lot of money. They can't even lose right.
How much did you bet?
$25.
All right, so it cost you $25. Didn't it
I
cost you a
could have
lot?
won like $400. It cost
you-
me $375 for them to win.
Did you have that $375 before you placed the bet, Matt?
Like
No, did you have that? Did you have that money? You did
No.
not. So it
I
did
had,
not.
I had the 25 to bet.
It cost you $25.
And the Jets were a sure thing to lose, and they didn't. Now
And listen,
or Jets fans hope.
If the Jets get a W and Millionaire Matt has to sing for his supper for a week, I'll take it.
You do not want to hear me sing, my friend. It's not good.
Jets, Jets, Mike White. A new era has begun, the Mike White era.
Oh, God.
That's right.
All right, well, enjoy that while it lasts. It's Monday night. Shining Wizards are back. Tony is in limbo. We don't know where he is. He may or may not be joining us as he has a teenager now who is trying to get into some fancy school that foot doctor money pays for.
Tony's become like the Tardy Tony.
It's not a gimmick. This is a real life thing.
Tardy Tony. I get it, and I respect it, but it's just becoming consistent. So we got to make a Tardy Tony shirt, baby.
He's gone dark on us since he texted us this morning at like 10 o'clock.
Yeah, I didn't see those texts till like 3:30. But busy day. Mondays are always my busiest day at work.
Monday, fun day. We have a busy night tonight, Kevin. We got Parrow from the NWA, one half of the end, joining us at 7 o'clock. We got Earl Joseph from New Wave Pro Wrestling joining us at 8 o'clock. We got a lot to talk about. A lot of wrestling this week. We got the Ring of Honor news, AEW. I watched fucking a ton of wrestling. I watched Halloween Havoc. I watched NWA. I watched MLW. I watched AEW. I watched... What else did I watch? I watched
Ring of Honor.
Ring. I watched Ring of Honor. I got a ton of things, Kevin.
Well, I like it.
So we got that, much more. We're on the rant. I remembered to open the streaming system that gets us on the rant. So for that one person that listened to us on the rant, we're back. So thanks for tuning in over there on the rant. Hopefully, if you've heard us in podcast form before, you made some time in your Monday night to join us on Facebook, Twitch TV, Twitter, YouTube, all those platforms. Kevin's having back spasms.
Oh my God.
Are you gonna be okay?
I didn't realize that came out of my face.
You might have to lay down on the floor,
like a wood plank or something like that.
Something like that. Kevin's getting old. I'm getting old. Tony's old.
That's right.
I got to cue up all this intro.
Yeah, Tony's definitely old. He's got a kid starting high school.
Right? That's pretty crazy. When we started the podcast, we would start at 9 o'clock on like Thursday nights. So his kid would go to bed.
Right. The kid would be in bed by the time he started.
Yeah, it was crazy, right? Now he's like a little fucking teenager.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. So we'll see if Tony shows up. Parrow's going to be joining us shortly. Earl Joseph. Kevin's here. I'm here. We're going to have We're going to have so much fun tonight. So hopefully you join us. You chat us up. YouTube and Facebook is the best way to watch us because we can read your comments when you leave them. Twitter still hasn't caught up. And I don't know if you can on Twitch because I don't think anyone watches us on Twitch because that is a failed...
well, that would be the reason. If no one watches us on Twitch, we wouldn't be able to see the comments on Twitch because there would be no comments on Twitch. But we should be able to see them. Actually, I don't know if we can. Yeah, we should be able to see him in StreamYard, right?
Yeah, we should. Well, look, if you're not watching, go to twitch.tv/Wizards Podcast. Subscribe, drop a comment. Let us know if we can see it, or we'll let you know if we see it. Fuck virtual high fives. Everybody's happy. Everybody's excited. It's Monday night, and it's the Shining Wizards Wrestling Podcast exclusively here. Shit, there's so much I got to do now.
Exclusively everywhere.
We're everywhere. We're in your face. We're in your
no exclusivity anymore. We're whoring ourselves out to all social media platforms.
Yeah, and we're gonna do it next here on the Shining Wizards Wrestling Podcast, episode 557.
The following is a presentation of the Shining Wizards Network, broadcasting live on rantiumradio.com and available on all podcast platforms and at shiningwizards.com. Follow us on social media at Wizards Podcast. Check out our merchandise at merch.shiningwizards.com. Do your Amazon shopping at amazon.shiningwizards.com and become a Patreon supporter at patreon.com/wizardspodcast. As always, we thank you for your continued support. And now, enjoy the show.
This is Matt Taven, member of the Kingdom and one half of the Internet Darlings, and you are listening to the Shining Wizards Podcast.
We are 3 weeks away from the 10-year anniversary show here at the Shining Wizards Wrestling Podcast. And we have so much fun, so much excitement lined up for you guys out there. And we're going to get right off and running because tonight's guest is in the queue. I'm going to drop him in. He's one half of the end. He is crushing it in the NWA. He is Parrow, Mike Parrow. Parrow, how are you tonight?
I'm doing good. How are you guys?
Great. Thanks for joining us on this Monday night. We're on the road to 10 years as a podcast, so that's pretty exciting on our end. But you're up to some exciting stuff. I'm sorry?
That's a huge accomplishment.
Yes. It's a labor of love. How are things on your end?
Oh, everything's going well, considering. Everything's getting back to normal-ish after the pandemic, so I'm doing the best as I can.
Well, that's all we can ask for. Look, I was a little nervous tonight. I watched NWA Empowered this afternoon, and I was like, holy, if this angry guy shows up tonight, this is going to be the shortest interview that we've ever done. You are full of piss and vinegar Tuesday night. You're tired of Kratos. You're tired of being the only gay athlete in the NWA. You were angry, and it seemed to come out of nowhere. Where is this fire coming from?
Well, it's not anger, but we just beat them, and they get to go on Empower, but yet we don't. So first and foremost, we're the number one contenders. We should have been. We never lost that to Clinton and Jax. As you could see, the ref, Odinson wasn't down, and once again, somehow we got jumped in line, and then we have to earn our spot back. So yeah, I'm a little pissed.
Rightfully so.
I don't understand why we were the number one contenders to start with, since we're the only actual tag team. But I guess once again we have to prove why we're one of the best.
And you've been proving so far. Any doubters out there not familiar? You've run through the number one contenders tournament. You are in the finals against Hawks Airy, the father-son duo of Luke and PJ. You guys definitely have a size advantage over them. And from a tag team standpoint, you guys have been tagging longer than them, even though they are a father-son duo and they do have that connection. Are you guys looking past Hawks Aries or fueled by rage and this disrespect that Billy Corgan has thrown your way? And look, I'm not going to lie. I think Billy, he's done a lot of disservice. He disserviced Nick Aldis. He let the Booger Eater get like 4 title shots against him. No respect for Nick Aldis. Now fucking Trevor Murdoch's running around the champion. He looks like he eats his own boogers. And now this nonsense with you guys. You're clearly the number one contenders, but you had to go through a tournament.
Well, first and foremost, not to take anything away from Trevor Murdoch, to become the NWA World Champion is an accomplishment on itself. It's one of the most prestigious titles in all of wrestling. It's historic, you know. So becoming champion and Nick holding it as long as he did was an accomplishment on itself. You know, there's so many times you can go up against a person before they learn everything you have to know. And now, and Trevor is a deserving champion. He beat him fair and square and one hell of a match. So you can't take anything away from a world champion. Second is, you know, Luke has been in this business way longer than I have, and most of the roster. Luke has been in the business over 20 years, you know, but he has a weakness, which is his son, and I'm going to exploit it. I'm much bigger than PJ, and I plan to beat the shit out of him. So
that's a good game plan.
Yeah, so we don't look past nobody. You get in the ring with us, we're going to fight you. That's what we do. We are not finesse. We are not going to tell you we're the best technical wrestlers in the world. That's for another tag team on a forbidden door. You know, everybody's going to tell you they're the best at something. We're the best at beating you up. That's what we do. And at the end of the day, that's, you know, what it's about. Can you stop us? You know, it's not us stopping you. It's you have to stop us, because we're not going to give you the finesse. I'm not going to flip. I am not going to lock up and give you arm drags. I'm going to punch you in the face. That's what I do well.
So talking about the NWA in general, since you've been there, has there been any moments that you've just been like, wow, this is like super surreal? Has there been anything that you've just like thought like, oh my God, like I'm here now with this group of wrestlers and this group of talent, and I'm a part of this?
So surreal moments are different from being part of the roster. I belong. I know I belong. I'm an athlete through and through. I played Division I football. I've never stepped in the ring and didn't think I wasn't better than the other person across from me, because I believe I'm a champion. I believe I'm one of the best. And so to sit there and be like, oh my God, I don't belong here. I don't think that ever.
Yeah.
Because I worked so hard to get there. I put in the effort to be there. So I'll never say that. But a couple surreal moments was one NWA 70 where I got to walk out and I got to be me as a wrestler, be open and be gay and be a badass. You know, we're all different. And that's the one thing I will say about NWA is they talk to me and let me be me. It's not whereas, hey, this is how we're going to book you because this is how we believe gay should be booked. When I get the mic, I get the mic. Billy doesn't tell me what to say. Billy says, this is your time to shine. You go do that. And that's one thing I like about Billy, is the fact that he allows his guys to be themselves, be the characters. What NWA was built on was personality. It was built on a bunch of blue collar guys with great personality, and you get to see that more and more as we develop as a company. You know, it's the little things, and you know, he always says, if you give my time, this is your time. So those are like surreal moments. Being in St. Louis, you know, walking out and Ric Flair sitting right there, like smiling at us, having to get asked Animal if me and Otis would do a version of the Doomsday, if that's okay to do. You know, I got opportunities to be in the locker room and pick the minds of some of the greatest wrestlers that ever stepped in the ring. And that's something that is a blessing that NWA gives, because I'm one of those people that sets goals and accomplishments for myself. Being part of NWA is historic. It's like Notre Dame in college football. You know what I mean? You have to respect that where football came from to see where it is now. So if you respect where wrestling came from, and then you get to see how it evolved through the years. So every company is different. Every company has a different thought process of what the best product is. There's no wrong way, because wrestling is subjective. Like, it's the fan, it's what you want. So NWA gives you that classic feel with an updated athlete, if that makes sense. You know, it's no longer the old school athlete. We just know how to wrestle in that the rules. You know, wrestling has evolved where the rules are very lenient in other companies. We have to follow the rules, like tag ropes, how long we can be in the ring, which makes it much harder to work that way, because now you have to, just like in football, they're going to throw a flag and then there's a 10-yard penalty. Just like in wrestling with NWA, we have to follow the tag rules. There is strict rules. We don't get to, so we have to, me and Odinson have to change our style of wrestling, which is more of a Japanese style, because we do a lot of All Japan, and we're used to that tag style. So we have to adapt ourselves to follow the rules. And I'm not going to lie, it's sometimes extremely difficult when you're used to a certain way, but that shows how good you can be. It tests your limit as an entertainer of, can you still do what you need to do? And we got some of the best minds in the business as agents, you know, and they're all different. It's not just the same kind of agent. We have, like, Homicide's one of our agents. Homicide has a different perspective on anything more than, say, Davari or anybody that I've ever worked with, like MVP or just so many people with different companies. You know, they all have different perspectives of what wrestling is, and you get to take from that and you get to learn and become a better wrestler. So that's the one era, the one thing I like about NWA the most is the freedom to be yourself, but testing what you're able to do as an athlete. Because, listen, there's former world champions on our roster that I wrestle daily. You know, like, you can't take that away from them. They were the top of it. We beat Aaron, and Aaron was a Money in the Bank winner. So, you know, that does, I don't know who, they don't just give those Money in the Banks out. Like, you know what I mean? Like, some really important people have held that briefcase. So, you know, we just didn't, we're not beating nobodies. We're showing that we can compete with some of the best athletes in the world today. That it's like I get to go against Tom Brady. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, I'm a younger wrestler, but these guys know the business through and through. Like, they've been at the top of the mountain, and they're there still. So now it's me showing that I can be at the top of the mountain, and Odinson.
The end, running roughshod through the NWA. You seem like you're a student of the game. You know your history. You mentioned St. Louis, the Chase. How awesome is that ballroom to perform in? On TV, aesthetically, it's beautiful. It kind of, it's like the past is coming into the present now, but they've been wrestling inside the Chase ballroom for years. It's a beautiful visual, and then just to see you guys in there tearing it up, it's amazing. How does it feel to get the opportunity to work in the Chase?
So one of the things me and Odinson did when we got there was to go find the ballroom. So we didn't even check. We didn't even go to our, like, we got our room key. Didn't even go to our room key. We went straight to the ballroom just to take it in. And the women were setting up for Empower. And it was just, we sat down and just looked around and took it in and been like, wow, some of the people that shaped wrestling. I mean, there would have been no WWE, there would have been no WCW without those people that wrestled in that building. And just to see the letters NWA back up there and sitting there and watching Empower being put together and the producers and Mickey James, Gail Kim, Medusa, like, just so many people, just great women sitting there, and I'm just watching. I'll be like, wow, NWA does one thing. They're really good at knowing it, and that's history. And remaking history. Does that make sense? It's like a lot of people, especially with other companies, they say it's history, but it's not really history. It's like, we're telling you it's history. But Empower was historic because NWA never had a woman's pay-per-view about women.
Right.
You know, showcasing women and showcasing all of what women's wrestling is. Go back and watch Camille versus Leia Hirsch.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Amazing. I'm a huge fan of the Hex. Like, me and Otis were ringside yelling and screaming. If you go back and watch the tape, like every time those like women were killing each other, we're out there just going at it, and I'm getting yelled at. Get back! Like, I'm freaking out just as a fan because I didn't get in this business because I'm like, oh, I just want to be a pro wrestler. I'm a fan of this business. I'm a fan of all of it, just like anybody. So I like watching the product. I like sitting there and realizing what everybody is around me is doing, seeing their reaction. Are they feeling the same thing I'm feeling? I like being part of that. So you'll see me at shows, and I'll be curtain just watching all the matches, and they'll be like, hey, you have to go get ready. And I'll be like, oh, sorry.
I'm ready. Let me finish watching this match. You mentioned that the NWA lets you be yourself.
And it's funny because it's that's my fault. I got a little lag issue. I always seem to have at least one or two of those. And it's funny that you mentioned that you always like peek through the curtain because on happens all the time at independent shows. Like all the people like want to stick their head out and watch a match that might have some hype. But I want to get back to your point about how other companies might manipulate history just to fit the narrative, and it might be history based on history air quotes, but it's not necessarily 100% factual. Where I feel like Billy Corgan has it in his head, and I don't know Billy at all, but in his head, it feels like it's a mission to keep this 100% authentic in terms of how we present NWA and its history. Have there ever been any moments where you saw that in Billy, or anyone for that matter, for Mickey James, for anyone that said, all right, this is truly going to be authentic NWA lineage?
The one thing I like the most is the fact that I get to have an opinion and I don't get shut down like I'm a nobody. I get to talk to the owner of my company. I don't have to go through 35 people to just talk to the owner about, because I'm going to say this. Right now we're at the token stage of gay in wrestling, where we're just hiring the gay guy because we need a gay guy on our roster. But you don't have gay writers, and you're not asking the gay talent how they should be perceived. We know how we should be perceived because we're actually gay or pan or bi or trans. Ask us. It's important because when you sorry for a second, the light went off. But when you start trying to book what you believe as a straight promoter, it gets very lost in translation, and it does more harm than good. So yes, have I had arguments, and has Billy sat there and listened? Yes. That's how I know NWA is important, because it's not just me that gets to do that. We all get to talk to Billy. It isn't like he's not there. Like, this is something that's important to him. And I like that, and I like that about MLW too, is I got to speak to Court directly. I like being able to have a say in how I'm perceived, because I know what I am. Example, I am not the same gay as Effie, but we're both gay.
Right.
I am not the same gay as Sonny Kiss, but we're gay. Anthony Bowens, we're all different. But if you don't ask us, you're going to try to put us all in the same category of what you believe gay is. And NWA allows me the opportunity to be comfortable and feel welcomed. Does that make sense? So I feel like I'm a legitimate part of the company. Whereas I'm not just there because I'm gay or like, you know what I mean? It's like, that's important to me. You know, I work really hard at what I do. I train really hard staying up with all the young guys. And let me tell you, those young guys coming up are unbelievable with their athletic ability. You know, they've been training for younger, and they're good. It's just like any sport. So you need more and more and more to keep going, you know?
No, absolutely. It's funny because we're friends with Bowens, and he came to the studio and he looks like a goddamn Adonis, and he shows up with fucking Wendy's, and I'm like, how I eat fucking Wendy's, I look like 10 pounds of shit in a 5-pound bag, and you look like a guy, you're chiseled out of stone. You young guys, it's unbelievable.
Well, that's what I'm saying, but it's also different too because we're totally different types of wrestlers. I'm 6'4", 300 pounds, a former offensive lineman. He's a former baseball player, and our size difference is different. So his speed and everything is totally different than me. So you can't book him as me and me as him. It's just not gonna work. But some companies would try to do that, and you know, and be like, "Hey, I heard you're gay. This is what you're gonna do." So I like the fact that we at least with the two companies we're at, we're getting the opportunity to be us.
Right. You were hired because of your work rate, not because you had to fill a gay quota.
Yeah. And that's what I like, you know, and like Jamie was on the Empower, and, you know, and Polo was her manager. Like, you know, Billy does understand that even though we're historic, we still need to move forward. And I like that about him. You know, I don't know if that's the roster quality or where he needs to know that we need to be progressive while still respecting history. Like, he knows that it's a modern time.
Yeah. So we have people out there listening. Ryan Sullivan wants to know, has anyone ever tried to book you into what he'd consider an offensive gay role?
Oh yeah, all the time. It's the number one thing that happens to us.
That's crazy.
I'll get. Hey, well, how do people know you're gay? What do you do that's gay? I go, well, I beat people up. It's pretty gay. How is that gay? I'm gay. So I'm going. So I made that gay. But a lot of times promoters will pitch me having a crush on Odinson, or I should come out. I got pitched coming out with a little dog once. I don't know what that has to do with being gay. I do. I was told. I told a lot that gay is sympathetic, so I need to be more sympathetic. So I need to get beat up. And like, once again, I'm 6'4", 300 pounds. You ain't beat me up. I go, my parents didn't feel bad for me. Like, you're talking to the wrong person. So a lot of times, 90% of the time, I do get pitched ideas. And a lot of the times they aren't doing it to be cruel or mean. It's what they understand of a stereotype. And I'm here to stop stereotyping. So after you explain it to them, sometimes like they, you know, get a little flustered because people love their ideas and they think they're genius until you explain why it's not genius. So, like, were you gonna say something?
Oh no, I was gonna ask. That was my way of telling Matt that I was gonna ask a follow-up question. So I just went like that.
Oh, okay.
But go ahead.
Well, but the reason we do gay brunch, and I did Fear the Gay Agenda, which was an all deathmatch LGBTQ show, was to show people that not only are we different characters and tell different stories, is that we can do everything. We're not just here to be ha ha he he. And like, I'm very proud of Fear the Gay Agenda and doing the Effie's Big Gay Brunches. I think those shows break. The more we can normalize terminology, the more it's going to be okay in wrestling, if that makes sense.
Yeah, and that kind of leads me to my next question, where in terms of you openly spoke about this on NWA, like you said it, like you said, this is who I am. But is there ever a point where you feel like it would be okay to maybe be an openly gay wrestler, but just is there any possibility that bringing that to the TV might hurt a character or not make it who you are? Or do you feel like every single part of a character or any single time you could mention it is just doing something more positive? That question was very clunky, so I'm sorry, but
let me see if I can break it down. I always say this: if you're an athlete and you're not in the game, you're doing nothing to help the team win. Right now, we are not on television, and when we are on television, we lose. So right now, that's the disservice we are doing, not as gay athletes, but the product itself. Because I'm the athlete I needed to see when I was young. Effie's the athlete he needed to see when he was young. Sonny, Anthony, all of us are the athlete we needed to see and hear. There needs to be all of us. And then when they say LGBTQ storylines won't work, well, they will work, but you have to have more than one LGBTQ person on your roster, and you can't book us all the same. And when we lose all the time, why are people going to get behind us? You know, Sonny Kiss is $1 million. $1 million. It's just sitting on the bench, basically. You know, I'm sorry, but I will say that. Like, such a talent that people react to, and where they just fumbled the ball. You know, and a lot of wrestling is just like a sport. You can have all the talent in the world, but if they're not put in the right positions to win, you're a disservice to everyone. You're a Jets fan. You should know.
I mean, yesterday notwithstanding, I've known for a very long time.
But you have some of the best players in the world that go on to other teams and kill it. Yeah. It's because that's why a coach or a promoter is so important. Their job is to put their athlete in the right position to succeed as a wrestler. You know, I get at the end of the day, it's a business and there is politics, but we also have to realize we're in a new generation of fans. Gen Z isn't the same kids as the Attitude Era. Things do offend them, and we have to understand that they like certain things. They grow up knowing their friend is gay, or they're gay, or they're pan. And then they look at TV, and you've got the same old cowboy character, and you're like, oh, okay, cool. I don't know any cowboys, but I'm sure, like, I'm sure they're around. Like, but you know, we need to start evolving our characters all around the board, not just one company, the whole thing. And that's why independent wrestling is so important, because you get a lot of the kids doing new things, like Everett Connors. You know what I mean? He's basically a TikToker. You know what I mean? And kids get it. They get what he is. You know, and that's one of the disservices major promotions have, because they have older people in charge dictating what they think is relevant, because we have this philosophy in all of wrestling that older is better. That's not exactly the case, because if you look at the NFL per se, if you're old, you're one of like two people. Like 25 is you're out. Like that's why everybody's like talk about Tom Brady being so old and being like, how? Because everybody else doesn't make it to that standard. Most of the people, if you make it past 25, you get a pension. Like, so wrestling's one of those things that you have to be careful and not get stale. You know, and some of the products I see out there, they're bordering. You know, Impact has no gay athletes. None on the roster. It's 2021. I don't understand why, with all the talent out there, the rosters aren't full. Like, and and now, of course, I'm gay, so I will talk about it. But there's so many other things, and why is wrestling the only ones like behind the times? Like, we should be the forefront, because wrestling has always been the people that promote social change. But in the past 10 years, we haven't been doing that in a major level. We've only been doing it on the independents. But the top company in the world wasn't doing that, until they were pushed to it. Social change is wrestling has always done a great job with social change, but yet now it's like they don't want to do it because they're afraid of cancel culture, because they don't understand what it is, because they're like, I could say whatever I want. You can, just don't be a dick. Like, like, you can say whatever you want. Nobody's canceling MJF because he's just doing MJF. And kids understand that. But is it like, I don't like trans athletes, It'd be like, oh, that's some great heat. And the kids are like, I don't get that. Like, what are you doing? Like, well, do you see what I'm saying?
I think it goes back to your point. It's older people who are in charge that they see it one way. It's tradition. Just because something's tradition doesn't mean it's good. It's just old. It's been around forever, and people just think they have to do it that way, and it's not the way it has to be. You can change things, and you can push you could bring these situations to the forefront in a positive light. Everything doesn't have to be this weird. You don't have to get mega heat by saying you don't like a trans athlete or something dumb like that. You can base a storyline around an LGBTQ character and not even bring up the fact that they are part of the.
Well, the reason it's not why you can't do those sort of things is because you never took time to build the story. So, because we're right now, a lot of companies are in match-based booking. Like, example, AEW is a rock show. They're not a storylined show. They are a live rock show. Every week they're going to give you some of the greatest hits of wrestling on top of, here's some new tracks we're about to drop. That's AEW. WWE is a weekly episodic TV show. They don't really care because they know what they have planned 10 months from now. So they're going to give you like a regular TV show like you would watch Chicago PD. Chicago PD ain't going to – they already wrote the show. The show is already written. They know where they're going 10 months from now. And they know what's going to happen because that's how they've always been. And honestly, they don't have to change because they are Disney. You don't always walk up to Disney and be like, you guys are doing it wrong when they make trillions of dollars. At the end of the day, WWE made $7 billion. AEW is still a baby. Like, they're still a child when it comes to the wrestling world. NWA and Impact and GCW are that level of what helps these guys grow. And right now, it's like, what can the NWAs, the Impacts, the GCWs are so important to wrestling right now that people should understand that. The less places to work will send us back from when I first started wrestling. When I first started wrestling, there was only like 2 companies you could work for. You couldn't get an ROH. They were all friends. You were not getting booked. Like, they had that locked down. If you weren't one of their friends, you weren't going to ROH in 2009. Like, that was one of the only top independents, but you weren't getting in. They weren't bringing you in if you didn't know somebody. And then you had TNA, but that was basically, I was lucky because I was trained by Bubba and Devon, so I got to do a lot of extra work and be part of that and learn so much. But that was also hard to get into. And then there was WWE, who at the time saying, we're not going to take if you're over 22. They do that every 10 years. They love saying that. They're like, if you're old, we're not taking you, which is total bullshit because it's a company. And if you can make them money, they're going to be like, we want you. That'd be like saying, "Oh, Captain America's making money." Disney's like, "But Captain America's old. He was from 1942." You know, like, no. If you're a billionaire company, isn't going to be like, if you can make us money, we're not going to not hire you. So I always try to give people perspective. What they're saying though is they're not going to invest time if you have invested time in yourself. Like they're not going to take the time anymore. If you didn't make your brand, they don't have time to make your brand for you anymore. They'd rather get an athlete and do that with them. So yes, I understand what they're saying. You just have to look through what they're saying.
We're talking with Parrow at Parrow _ on Twitter, Parrow49 on Instagram. If you want to grab a Parrow t-shirt, ProWrestlingTees.com/Parrow. He's half of the end with Odinson. Every Tuesday night you can watch, you can watch the NWA Tuesday nights. And if they keep not putting him on, he's going to keep coming out and scaring the shit out of everybody like he did last week. But they do have a tag match coming up with Hawks Aries at some point. And you know, I think they're going to see La Rebellion at the pay-per-view in December, but that's just me. That's my guess. If I had to gamble.
Well, one way or another, they're going to see us.
Attaboy.
Now I have to ask, because you've been.
The last time they were in the ring with us, they ran away. I don't know. Last time they were in the ring, they ran away. We had to chase them out the building.
I can't.
I don't know that. I'm just saying, they ran away.
I can't blame them. You guys are pretty imposing individuals. I would also run away.
Well, do they have scary face paint? I thought their whole thing is like they're the best. They tell everybody they're the best. I'm like, we were there. They ran away.
I mean, Odison's got some pretty intimidating facial hair there, so he's pretty scary fella. I ask everyone that's ever worked in Japan. You did All Japan. You guys were in All Japan Pro Wrestling, the Real World Tag League in 2018, 2019. I always ask anyone that's ever been to Japan, have you ever eaten the raw horse meat?
Yes.
All right. Delicious. Lance Archer says the same thing. He turned us on to this, and now I ask.
I go out to eat with Lance. So yes. Lance is one of our buddies over there. Like I love. We hang out with Lance. So yes, we've eaten the same food.
Okay, so for those who haven't listened to our Lance Archer interview, because I don't think anyone since we spoke to Lance like a year and a half ago that's been to Japan has eaten raw horse. How would you describe it?
It tastes like steak. Like that's what it tastes like. You dip it in raw egg, the little sauce they have, and then you eat it. I love it. I didn't know it was horse when I first ate it, but it's actually really good. Funny thing, we had this conversation with my husband, and he was heartbroken. He's like, I can't believe. I'm like, it's delicious. But Lance has this weird thing where he puts peanut butter on tuna. So like, I just canceled him for that. Like, he's a weird guy. Like, who puts peanut butter on tuna? Like, no. Like, I draw the line at peanut butter tuna. Loves it. Yeah. It's so weird. He's a weird person.
Yeah, I love peanut butter. I'm not putting it on everything.
You're not putting it on tuna?
No, absolutely not.
I'd give it a shot.
Yeah, you know what? More power to you. Like, I do enjoy Japanese food. It's so funny because when we're over there, because we've done a couple tours besides the tag league, and unfortunately it's hard to get us over right now. We're in negotiations of going back. We have a very good rapport with All Japan, and it's our company over there. That's our that we wanted to be part of, because to us that's history. And if you notice, I have a theme like NWA, All Japan. I do the tough guy kind of promotions. Like the promotions I do, you're going to get your ass beat. Like it's some hard hitting action. I don't back down. I'm not. I've been in some straight fights in Japan, and some great battles. Swama and Tsuji are our rival over there, and they are giant Japanese wrestlers. Swamo is former 3-time, 4-time grand champion, also current tag champion. You know, their young roster, my personal fuse is with Ento. He was also world champion. You know, Otis is Zeus. So we have and Tajiri. Tajiri's our father / villain. Let me tell you, Tajiri throws those kicks. That buzzsaw, really cool when you were a kid watching it. Terrible when you get kicked in the face. Terrible.
I would believe that 100%. When it came down to All Japan and New Japan, was it even a thought for you guys, or were you just All Japan all the way?
Well, All Japan is the first people we went with. And then we've had, talks like anybody else. But we built, the thing with Japanese wrestling is respect and honor. That's our company. We've worked our way up through there. In All Japan, you have to earn your moves, your move set. It isn't like where you could just, I do this, this, and this. You don't get to do that. You have to earn everything, and you have to show them that everything's about, the King's Road style. And, it's a unique style that is All Japan's baby. That is the style. If you ever talk to Kingston, it's the only place he wants to go. The only place. And that's a great. So jealous that we're there on that.
That's a great endorsement from Kingston. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah. If you ever talk to him, he'll tell you. I'm sure he tweets about it once a week, and he wants to go to All Japan. He's always wanted to fight Akiyama. Now Akiyama's over at DDP. We've got so many cool stories from Japan. Getting to do all the stuff that everybody gets to do, and then having just Japanese legends kind of like that was awesome, and they're like, and it's just like surreal of like thinking, especially since like we earned our way over there. It wasn't like we at the time, we were doing Evolve, and we had to earn it from there, and then Daisuke saw us at Evolve and saw what we were doing, and he was connected with them at the time and helped us get an opportunity, and we had to earn it. You can't take anything for granted over there, because everything you do is like a test if you're worthy to be there. It's very hard for Gaijin over there. Any company, New Japan and All Japan and DDT, that's why a lot of Gaijin don't go. So that's why it's very special to be there. If you're brought in by one of those three companies, it's a big deal. That's why when Jericho said, you're not, he said it was so like, you're not like really a wrestler if you haven't headlined Corrigan. And we've headlined it 3 times. So I was like, all right, I'll take that endorsement.
So Jericho and Kingston endorsements aside, for people in the United States, at least in my perception, is it's like New Japan and All Japan isn't quite where it was when I was growing up in like the early 90s and stuff like that. What would you say to people as adult wrestling fans to go out of the way and watch for All Japan Pro Wrestling? And not individual matches, but why should people really get invested in All Japan?
Well, they should get invested in All Japan because it has some of the best up-and-coming athletes in the world. If you're into Japanese wrestling, they're pure Japanese wrestling. New Japan isn't exactly pure Japanese wrestling. It's an American mix of style. All Japan is still All Japan. It's Japanese wrestling through and through. Whereas a New Japan is more of a mixture of it's like an Asian fusion restaurant, where you got American and Japanese wrestling. Whereas All Japan is strictly traditional, where the rules are still the belts are exactly the same. I would like to see a little All Japan come a little into the future, which they are, but everything's a little bit slower over there when it comes out of like their traditions, because every company's so rooted in tradition that, it's not like America where things change really quickly. Japan wrestling takes time, and they go ebbs and flows, whereas remember when I was coming up in 2009, Noah was going to take over the world. Like Bobby Finn and them were just murdering Noah. Like Noah was where you wanted to be. And then all of a sudden, New Japan was the past couple years have been like the greatest company in the world. Everybody wanted to be there, and now everybody wants AEW. Wrestling flows, it was with every company. In 10 years from now, there's going to be another company. Impact could see a resurgence of greatness. That's what happens in wrestling, because it's just like any sport. Not every team's a dynasty forever, but they're still a good team. It just takes time for them to rebuild that dynasty.
The Patriots.
It's not going away. Exactly, but they're not a bad football team, are they?
Exactly. No, that's what I meant. They're not a dynasty. They might not be a dynasty anymore, but they're still good. They're still a decent team.
Yeah, and it takes a little bit to find the players that you need to build your foundation and your core around. An example, like what we'll talk about a little bit of GCW is GCW 5 years ago, nobody knew what it was. Joey Janela's Spring Break at Evolve at midnight. And now they're legitimately the number 3 company in the world. Talked about. They are. They're the number 3 independent company in the world. I would put them higher than Impact. And they just are relevant. But, that's because they put a really good core together. And once you find that core, you can build around your core. And that's what these young companies are doing. Once you figure out your core, you're golden. But you have to find that core, and it takes a little bit to find the core, because not everybody's that core roster guy, and sometimes you have guys that carry you through that transition time. And I'm hoping ROH comes back. I truly am. I think I personally, even though I've never been part of ROH, I personally believe wrestling's not at a better place with it gone. I less places for such talented young talent to work is doing a disservice to all of wrestling. We're in an era where this isn't where people watch TV all the time. This is the streaming service era, where you watch these matches on your phone. I know I'm guilty of it. I'll go through and just watch a match that I heard was awesome and not watch the whole show. I'm guilty, and that's the era where we're at. And I would suggest, if you're a fan of wrestling, go watch All Japan to see the difference. Because you're going to see certain things that you think are maybe original here that you're like, oh, wow, that so-and-so does that. And you're like, that's where they got it from. That's the style. I believe All Japan changed my career. Personally. It helped me it helped me and Odinson become better tag wrestlers. I now know what he's thinking, and he knows what I'm thinking, especially since we don't speak Japanese.
You haven't picked anything up?
Oh, no, I do now, but when I first went there, some of my best matches I've ever had are in All Japan. And it's just because you organically learn to be better. To non-verbally communicate what a match is, how to work the crowd when you don't speak Japanese. You know what I mean? Try cutting a promo in English in front of a crowd. So that's why you see some of the times I love New Japan most because they say the most ridiculous stuff because sometimes they know those reporters have no idea what they're saying. Saber is Zack Saber's notorious for it. Zack is kind of like over there. He's kind of we're kind of his young boys. Zack looks out after us and like because of our time at Evolve together, and he always looks. He lives over there, so he takes care of us. And like, I will say this: the New Japan roster, one of the nicest group of guys. You know, when we came over there, they accepted us. They didn't trust us. We were terrible. And then because you have to remember on the All Japan, we're the only Americans. Like really, like when we first got there, you know, we had Joe Doring in it, but you have to remember at the time, Joe Doring's a top guy.
Right.
You know, I mean, we're not top guys when we first get there. So it's like, and Joe doesn't really know us when we would have been here in America where a lot of people know who I am. But in Japan, nobody knew who we were until we got there. So, and now they do, and I'm grateful for that. But, you know, it was difficult when we first got over there, and if we didn't have the help of some of the Americans that we know over here, it would have been difficult. You know, I got great advice from Saber and Beller for my first trip, and they said, do not try to be Japanese. They're like, they said, you're there because you're good at what you do. Be you.
Right.
Because a lot of people make the mistake of trying to wrestle as a Japanese wrestler, and that's not why you're there. You're there because you're good at you. It's like changing your whole. It's like once again being any kind of athlete, and then changing your whole game to fit another team. You're not going to do that.
They brought you here for this purpose. Like they brought you here for what you provided in that other place. So we didn't ask you here to come and completely, you know, play wide receiver when you were, you know, a pass rusher. Like they didn't do that.
Exactly, and it's funny because you want to going into any job, you want to impress. So you're like, what's going to impress them? You know, oh, that I know how to do their style, or why I'm there. And it was a bit of a culture shock at first, but that's what Akiyama wanted, and it worked. Akiyama wanted that us to shake it up a little bit and show why we are who we are, and it toughened us up. We got our ass beat a couple times. I'm not gonna lie, we got it brought to us, but you know we also beat people up as well. So you know you have to remember it's the land of Stan Hansen and Bruiser Brody, you know Terry Funk, and it's the land. All Japan is the land of badass, and if you make it there, you're a badass. In my opinion, you know, like
you bring the badass back to the States, we'd be silly not to mention No Peace Underground. You're the champion there. You're beating Tony Deppins, the Brandon Kirks, the one called Manders. It seems like that might be like your home base now, outside of the NWA in the United States. Talk to us a little bit about No Peace Underground.
So I've been undefeated in deathmatch wrestling. I've had over 30 deathmatch wrestlers this year, and I'm undefeated. God
bless you.
And yeah, so it actually started off with I was trying to challenge myself. I like to learn every aspect of the game. Plus, not gonna lie, I'm a huge deathmatch kind of like just intrigued. Like I love Mick Foley, and being over in Japan, I got to see Japanese death matches. So you kind of start to fall in love with the artist. Like you realize this is art and you need to respect it for what it is. But it's also a challenge for myself. Can I do this art, especially without a wrestling ring? And this is what I said to myself. A wrestling ring is just a prop to start with. You don't need a wrestling ring. The Attitude Era never wrestled in a ring ever. So, like, Broil Room Brawls and Backstage and Cena's in the middle of cars. So you don't need a wrestling ring to have a wrestling match, first and foremost. And it challenges you as a performer. I say to people, I'm not a deathmatch wrestler. I'm a pro wrestler that does death. You know, I will not take that away from what these guys do, because a lot of these guys go day in, day out. That's their craft. They are deathmatch through and through. Like a Drew Parker over in Japan. They're doing that 6 days a week. Like, it's trust me, I know it's difficult. After I wrestled Effie, which was one of the most brutal death matches I've ever wrestled, ever. But that's because me and Effie were just going to beat the shit out of each other anyways. And we had something to prove. But me and Effie had something to prove. And I'm very proud of that No Peace show. One, it's diversity. Two, it trended worldwide. We beat AEW, WWE, and the NBA finals or playoffs for 3 days, trending worldwide. You know, a gay show about death. You know, like, so, and go back and watch it. It is probably one of the most brutal shows. And I like there's other deathmatch companies out there, but I like what No Peace brings to the table, because No Peace brings diversity, and that's important to me. And a lot of the deathmatch companies are the same 10 deathmatch guys. And they're all wearing the same clothes too, which is really weird. They love that black on black, like black ironic rock shirt or die, and like shorts. But No Peace is wrestlers mixed with deathmatch. So there's deathmatch wrestlers and actual wrestlers in that setting. So it's a unique thing. Can you hang with these guys, and can you beat them? You know, it's like I look at it as like a cool little video game. So it's like, do I win? And to me, it's a test of my art, and I like it. I'm not gonna lie. It's something I'm good at. You know, it took a while to get into it, but I'm proud of what No Peace does as a deathmatch company, because they're not so much a deathmatch company as they're a company of violence. And wrestling needs that. There's wrestling fans for everything. And we have to remember that at the end of the day.
Has there been any talk or any thoughts from you to wrestle the king of the death matches, Matt Cardona?
I would kill Matt.
Yes.
Whoa.
I'm not Effie. I'm like, him and Effie are perfect for one another, but I would kill Matt.
Matt Cardona is the deathmatch king, my friend.
Oh, he's definitely not.
All right.
It could be king all he wants. It could be king all he wants, but I still got to kill him.
Why do you gotta kill him? Why do you gotta kill him? Can't you just rough him up a little bit?
I personally love that. I think what he did for independent wrestling, outside the character and story, Matt did something special that I think every guy that comes out of WWE should take a chance of doing, and that is helping the independents grow. I respect him for that. That is something that a lot of guys don't look at it, because at the end of the day, Matt loves wrestling, and that's important. You know what I mean? And you can tell he loves wrestling and weird toys. I don't know, that toy thing is weird, but like, but apparently there's tons of money in toys. Who knew? Like, I'm in the wrong business.
Evidently, and it's
no,
for a guy who for a guy who literally spent like no time on the indies before he got signed. He spent his entire adult life like in WWE to come back and now like really try to. He wants to help. Like, not that GCW might not necessarily need it, but for him to be there and embrace it.
It's not just GCW. It's what he goes out and does. He's having fun again.
Yeah.
And when a wrestler's having fun, they're the best at their craft.
There you go. Love it.
You know what I mean? And right now, this is the best version of him you're going to get. Because this is a special moment. And I respect that. I'd still kill him in a death match. But I know he ain't going to challenge me to a death match. I'm not Effie. I beat Effie. I always beat Effie. It's what I do.
I gotta see if I can make this happen.
But I am a huge, I've done he was on Free the Narrative with me.
Yep.
And I always enjoy his work. And EC3, I enjoy his work. And I like that these guys, and Free the Narrative is free now on YouTube, so you can check it out, both versions of it. And I like what they're doing for wrestling and allowing themselves to be creative. Taking chances in wrestling is what independent wrestling is all about. And if you're not doing that and you're always worried about, oh, if I do this, am I not going to get hired? It's not a way to go about being a wrestler. Because wrestling's about being an entertainer. And you're not entertaining if you're just so worried that, oh, if I say this, WWE isn't going to call me. Well, guess what? I said I'm gay. They're probably not going to call me. I'm okay with it. I'm like, I've come to that conclusion. I'm all right. I'm like, I'm going to be the best wrestler I can be, and maybe one day they'll call. But I can't sit here and be like, oh, no, I can't do this because they're not going to – if I do this, they're not going to call me. I'm going to do wrestling how I believe I can do wrestling. The era of these false rules were to control the indies. Unfortunately, that killed the indies. And now you're seeing a lot of guys take chances. And like Matt, it's special. His feud with Effie is amazing. I'm going to put it out there. It's one of my favorite things to watch. But at the end of the day, yes, I would love to wrestle him. Just wrestle him in general. Like, I love wrestling, so you put anybody in front of me, I do believe I can beat that.
If you kill him, it wouldn't be so bad either.
And look, his toys go up in value if I kill him.
Don't say that.
I love it. Parrow, it's been an absolute pleasure. At Parrow _ on Twitter, Parrow49 on Instagram, ProWrestlingTees.com/Parrow. One half of the end with Odinson. He's doing No Peace Underground. He's on the NWA. He's working GCW. Follow him on social media. See where he's going to be next. It's been an absolute pleasure tonight, sir. Is there anything you want to leave our listeners with before we let you go?
I always say this when I leave. I see a lot of fans always say about they want change in WWE or they want change in AEW. Change doesn't start there. Change starts by supporting independent wrestling. So if you really want change in wrestling and you want to see new storylines and new characters, support the guys and girls, the men and women that are out there doing what they do best. I'm going to tell you, if you go to an independent show, there's nothing like it. It's intense. You're close to the action. You get to meet the wrestlers. It is something that is uniquely, organically awesome to be part of. I always say this, and I always relate things to sports, as I do, but it's the difference between NFL and college football. College football is one of the most fun experiences you'll ever go. The teams might not be as great as they are in the NFL, but the energy, the atmosphere, you will never come close to that in the NFL.
Oh.
The NFL, you're going to see amazing, fluid plays, but the energy is not always there. And when you support the people in college, you get to see them in the NFL. So this is what I say is like I say that independent wrestling is probably the most important thing. So supporting companies like NWA, and supporting companies like Impact and your GCWs and every little independent company in your town, especially when they come through, will help change the business. And who knows, you get an autograph there, you get a picture. A year from now, they could be world champion of WWE, or so support young talent. You'll be better for it.
And Mott Spock says he agrees 1,000%. Independent wrestling rules.
Oh, go to a No Peace show. It's one of those things. Like, I sometimes think they're going to hit me with glass. I'm like, oh, calm it down, guys.
Awesome.
It's back-to-back Cardona. Look at how cool that reaction was of him walking through that crowd the first time versus Nick Gage. You're not going to get that. You're not going to get that. I think that reaction was better than Cena's in ECW. That was because it was organic. Nobody told them to do anything. Plus, GCW doesn't have seats or guardrails, so it's like it's basically like a mini riot. Like
I've made that comparison. I've made that comparison since the moment it happened. Since the moment it happened, I've made that exact same comparison. That's so awesome, man.
And that's what I'm saying. Go to these shows, and you'll realize if you've lost your love for wrestling, don't think it's gone. Try going to an independent show. You might find your love back. You know, this business is only as good as the fans that support us. And honestly, I'm a fan myself. So, you know, I would tell you, I wouldn't lie to you, just because I'm an independent wrestler. Just go out there, try it, have fun, bring your friends, drink some beers. It's a 2-hour show. I'm going to tell you, you're going to love it.
Parrow, we loved our time with you tonight. We'd love to have you back anytime you want to shoot the shit. Maybe next time you'll be draped in gold, NWA Tag Team Champions. I'm just
be the first openly gay champion.
I love it. Love it. We'd love supporting
That's my goal.
you. I love it. Let's do it. Enjoy the rest of your night. Thank you again for your time. We'll talk soon.
Thank you, gentlemen.
All right. Mr. Parrow, at Parrow _on Twitter, at Parrow49 on the Instagram. And we're going to go right into what Parrow was talking about, supporting independent wrestling. The Liverpool Lip, Mr. Earl Joseph from New Wave Pro out there in Indiana. Earl, thank you for joining us tonight. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you for having me on Shining Wizard podcast. It's good to be part of such a popular and esteemed show. So thank you for hosting me.
Well, we appreciate you reaching out to us. Now, Kevin and myself, major wrestling figure collectors here, and I can't not mention, I see it right behind you. What do you have on the wall there?
I have a burgeoning collection. I used to have a ton of figures when I was much younger. I used to have some classics like the old WCW line, like including Sting, that was like that, you know the one. Yeah. Tom Zenk, Ric Flair, Lex Luger. Yes, that's the one. That's the one. Except all the paint was rubbed off on mine because I played with them so much.
Is that a Viscera behind you too?
Yeah, with the hardcore title. Yeah, that's the one.
Oh yeah.
I have a elite Bray Wyatt from the Firefly Funhouse because I figured they're not going to make any more of those, and I got the last one in Walmart.
Nice.
Braun Strowman I got for the same reason because they're not going to make any more of those anytime soon.
Oh, I know, that's a great point.
I think they're just doing stock clearance because they have a ton of Braun Strowman, Bray Wyatt, and Jake Atlas, and I was like, I should pick these guys up because it's going to be the last run, surely.
Yeah, and I never thought about it like that because I only collect current figures of people that have been on our show. So, like, if they've been on our show before they made it to the big time and get a figure, I get it. But now that you mentioned it, the Bray Wyatt, I've seen a bunch of them. I should probably grab one.
Yeah, well, they do the host guy, the Funhouse version, and then they do the actual Fiend with the full getup. I've got an AJ Styles one, and I've got Rey Mysterio with the Masters of the Universe crossover line they did.
Ah, that's right.
Which I think was pretty nifty. And I've got some other things just around. This is my little office. I got my X-Files poster, and I have a ton of. Hang on, I'll just
look at that. We're getting a tour, Matt.
I like it. I'll take a tour. Hopefully we don't lose them.
We lost them. It's done.
A United States Championship because I guess I'm the US champion now. I don't know.
Good for you.
Well, Earl, for those not familiar with you, you're the creative director of New Wave Pro. You're the ring announcer, commentator. You do a ton of stuff. How'd you get into independent wrestling, specifically New Wave Pro?
New Wave Pro. Well, my journey sort of began in March 2019. I'd only moved to the United States in November 2018. I'm from Liverpool, England, originally. And I just happened to fall into that crowd and began doing ring announcing. Obviously, this voice makes me stand out in central Indiana, as you can probably guess. And I began my journey with New Wave in January 2020. And we did a few shows together, 3 specifically, until we were forced to stop for the obvious reason in March. And it was just a combination of circumstances. I had a concept for an episodic wrestling show called Higher Ground. And it was called Higher Ground specifically because Terre Haute, which is where New Wave Pro is based, that's French for higher ground. So it kind of made sense. And I am a huge fan of, I grew up watching things like Saturday Night, WCW Saturday Night and Superstars. And I love episodic story-based wrestling with larger-than-life characters. And it's what I've wanted to present during my whole time in wrestling. And I was lucky enough to have the platform to do so at New Wave. In July, we debuted Higher Ground, July 26th of last year. And since then, honestly, it's gone from strength to strength. I'd say we were kind of a cult hit on IWTV. We were certainly at one point one of the only promotions in the United States running, certainly in that July-August period, because everybody else was struggling. And that's obviously, we were just fortunate enough to have a home base with a permanent ring setup that we could welcome fans to under, the conditions they had in place for large gatherings and stuff. And it's gone from strength to strength. November 12th, we have our 11th episode of Higher Ground coming up. And if you have been following or you want to follow Higher Ground since episode 1 and through our bigger pay-per-view shows that we do every month or 2 months, there is a very clear line of continuity and story involving a lot of regular wrestlers. And that's what we work really hard to present. And we think that we stand out as a result.
And you mentioned New Wave Pro Wrestling, Higher Ground 2.0, November 12th, 1439 Ash Street. And how do you say it? Terre Haute?
Terre Haute.
Terre Haute.
Haute, yeah.
How do you go from England to Indiana, man? That seems like a weird one.
Story of my life. I chasing a woman. No, I met a woman from Indiana, and we went back and forth a lot. And I finally decided to take the plunge. We decided to get married, and I applied for a marriage visa in order to move here.
Well, I guess it's working out. You still got the ring on, so that's good.
It just won't come off.
Sounds
that
like
that popped me. I don't know. That was.
If you've got any tips, any washing up liquid or special soap, then I'd love to know. Honestly,
I mean, if we could get Rob Black on the phone, he might cut it off for you.
Well, yeah. No, I think I'll stay married. Actually, based on that, yeah.
All right, good. Stay married. Happy wife, happy life. You look like you're very happy, so this is working out for you. And you're doing, I don't want to overspeak. It seems like you're doing your dream job. You're involved in professional wrestling. For those not familiar with New Wave Pro Wrestling, I looked down the list. We got Mad Dog Conley. He's the Higher Ground champion. He's taking on Eric Dillinger on Higher Ground 2.0. We have the Ultra Rapid Championship. Jay Marston takes on Corn Boy. I'm very interested in Corn Boy. And then we have the Englands, Eden and Sydney. They both have singles matches at Higher Ground 2.0. But at November Reign, they're defending their tag team championships. Husband and wife duo or boyfriend, girlfriend, brother, sister. I don't know what the last name is. I don't want to assume there is a
everybody guesses that they're brother and sister, but no, they are husband and wife.
Wait, their brother and sister and their husband and wife?
No, God, no. Although it might be legal in some parts of this country, I don't know.
I was gonna say it's Indiana, Matt. It's not like it's not Bo Dunk.
Well, yeah, I didn't want to say that. I didn't want to get myself in trouble. No,
yeah, we should probably not do that. That's a good point.
A lot of people have made jokes about Sid and Eden being brother and sister, but they are legally non-related and married. Just want to clear that up, just in case.
I'm going to look into that. I don't know if I believe
that. But yes, you are right, Matt. With Higher Ground on Friday, 12th of November in Terre Haute. Just to touch on something Parrow was saying as he ended his segment, he is right to talk about how independent wrestling. I don't think it's too trite to say that, if you go to an indie show or you watch it on YouTube or Facebook or IWTV, you really are giving yourself a chance at watching future world champions. And I genuinely think some of the talent that we have at our disposal at New Wave Pro are capable of being names. Forgive me for singling certain people out, but I'll do so. Eric Dillinger is one of the fastest rise and up and coming talents here in the Midwest. He is incredible. He has a great look and a really good personality. He works hard constantly, and he's captured people's imaginations with a very ultimately simple but effective gimmick. It's a sort of play on John Dillinger, so he's public enemy number one, and obviously John Dillinger being from Indiana originally, it really people can really relate to it around here. We got Nate Matthews, who is someone who is I think it's an injustice that he's under the radar. He takes on Sid Von England. Sage Phillips is another guy who you may be familiar with, a long-time tag partner of Cole Radrick, and those two square off in a dog collar match at November Rain for New Wave Pro. Their friendship has disintegrated at New Wave Pro, and they're going to duke it out with a really old-fashioned, old-school, brutal match. But New Wave Pro, I think, and I don't believe I'm biased by saying this, although I am kind of biased.
I get it.
Yeah. we present, I believe, some of the best under the radar and young talent in the entire country. Absolutely no question.
Well, I know the news broke earlier today. Beef will now be an MLW talent known as Gnarls Garvin.
Mm-hmm.
So if you want to see Beef wrestle at November Rain, he's taking on Gorgeous Morgan Taylor, and that's November 27th at the National Guard Armory. So
yeah, that's right. I mean, I that was actually news to me. I wasn't aware that Beef had signed with MLW. It being kept, I think, pretty much under wraps. Well, hey, I agree with the Facebook user there.
Mott Spock said Cold Radrick is fucking legit.
He is absolutely legit. He is one of the finest pound-for-pound wrestlers in this country. He's an incredible talent, absolutely fantastic. But with Beef's another incredible talent, and I'm glad to say that we will have him in Terre Haute at the National Guard Armory against Taylor. He's good to look at.
Delicious.
And he moves incredibly well in the ring, and he's powerful, and he's somebody who their presence alone just makes you look at them. He has an inbuilt natural charisma that is very rare to find, and when you do get it, mine that scene for all you can, frankly.
Now, does Don't Die Miles get the name Don't Die Miles because he does dangerous shit?
I mean, yeah, dangerous shit. It's a lot to do with people watching him do his daredevil antics, and it got to the point where the crowds were literally chanting "Don't die." It was a request, a pleading with him. He would zip off the top rope. He hits a perfect shooting star press. He dives all over the place. At our Mob Rules show on July 31st, he went up against Gary J in a last man standing match, and the kid nearly killed himself just trying to get the victory. And I don't think there's a more fitting name for a wrestler around than Don't Die Miles, because that's all you say when you watch him. You're holding your hands and you're like, if there is a God, then please don't let this kid die.
We don't need him dying. Mott Spock, from a guy from Milwaukee, he does travel all over the Midwest. Do you travel much up north at all?
Unfortunately not, although I'm going to be hitting up or trying my best to see as many new states as possible in 2022. The furthest north I'll be, that's confirmed so far, is AWR in, oh man, I've forgotten the name of the place. It's in Michigan. Hang on.
Saginaw, Detroit?
No, it's close to Detroit. I will tell you in 2 seconds because I'm just looking it up on Twitter.
Auburn Hills.
It's like Allentown, but not Allentown. Allen Park, Michigan. There you go.
That's pretty damn close.
Allen Park, Michigan for AWR, a no-ring deathmatch show co-hosted by Casanova Valentine. You're going to see people like Chuck Stein, Dale Patrick, Akira, Justin Kyle, Mickey Knuckles, Randy West, Charlie Cruel, all in a no-ring deathmatch environment. It's AWR's Michigan debut as well as mine.
Did you say Akira, by the way? Did I hear that? Akira?
Yes, Akira's taking on Eric Dillinger.
Yeah, I had a chance to see Akira for the first time over the summer down in Atlantic City, New Jersey, and I'm a big fan of him. I feel like he's the kind of a guy that can do anything, to be honest with you.
Absolutely. He's incredibly fearless. I'm fortunate enough to have worked plenty of shows with Akira. He and I have this nice little routine when we do, when I ring announce him. We both lean into it a lot, and it's a lot of fun, really electric. But Akira is, he's a great wrestler, and he will go to any extremes possible. I've seen him do some pretty insane stuff. And I think still the best is yet to come.
Kate Hensler on Facebook. She wants to know how you met your wife.
Unfortunately, I don't have an insane story. It's just we met through a shared interest group over Facebook, a music-based private group. You know the type of thing I'm talking about.
Yep.
What kind of music?
Just like really shitty, obscure hipster stuff. No, it was a range of stuff. It was a spin-off from a music website that I used to write for, and that she used to visit, and then it was all part of that soup. And then we, she's right, it is cute. Thank you, Kate. And we just hit it off. I think the catalyst for us actually talking, based on what she's told me, is that there would be like a threaded post where people would post what they're wearing that day, because it was quite a tight-knit community, and I was the one always liking her photos, and then I think it just became obvious, and then
that'll do it.
Yeah, that's the modern courtship, you tell the grandkids, oh, he liked my bikini photo, and from there we just fell in love, he gave me a carry act, Now,
how does the wife feel about the wrestling?
She wasn't very knowledgeable about it until I began boring her to death on the regular, talking about it nonstop. And now it's very much a part of our life together. It's a shared passion, we traveled together down to Tampa to do WrestleMania week this year. She films at New Wave. We consult each other creatively. It's very good. It wouldn't be the same if I know enough people in wrestling that keep the wrestling and their other life, their quote unquote real life, separate, and they keep their spouses out of it and whatever. But I can't operate like that. If I'm involved in something that takes up the 85% of my life that wrestling seems to take up, then the other 5% is driving to shows, by the way. Then I need to have somebody that I'm married to along for the ride. And it's we've had some really good shared experiences, and her knowledge, she's very intelligent, of course, and her knowledge of the business, and it's present, and the people we work with is fastidious. It's second to none.
Do you ever have to you ever see her cheering too hard for someone? You're like, hey, take it down.
Yeah, no, actually, no. We both like and dislike the same people.
Oh, okay, that works though.
There you go. Muy simpatico. And I've always wondered this, because we have guests from all over the world on the show, wrestlers that have wrestled and all over the place and been a part of the business and are from other places. And I've always just wanted to know, like, every single time we have someone from a different country on, like, what kind of gravitated them towards wrestling and what their wrestling experience was like in a country, across an ocean from us, or even above a border from us. So what was it that kind of really drew you into wrestling at first, and what are the biggest moments and stuff that you remember from your fandom?
I think what attracted me as a child, I'm cough 35 years old now.
Oh, pshaw.
Yeah, someone asked me the other day, said, "Is that your natural hair color, silver?" And I was like, "Are you fucking joking?" That was my boss as well.
What's sad is you're the youngest out of the three of us here.
Finally. Oh my God. I spend all my weekends with people in their early 20s and it's killing me.
Yeah. Try interviewing people who are fucking 19, 20, 21 years old. They have no idea what you're talking about when you make some obscure reference.
Yeah.
Obscure reference like, a phone book, for example.
You can make like a WrestleMania 7 reference, and these kids are like, was Stone Cold Steve Austin in that? Or was...
Well, you know what? It's funny. I really feel my age. And to go back to what you were saying, Kevin, one of my biggest memories of wrestling fandom is actually having gone to SummerSlam 1992 in Wembley.
Boom.
And there's a lot of people who I talk to, who I work with very regularly, every weekend nearly. And I'll look at them and they go, oh, right. Yeah, you were born after September 11th, weren't you? Right. Okay. There's like these benchmarks you have to give with people. I'm like, I don't know what I'm talking about.
No, that you're right. That is a huge, that's a big benchmark here, especially for sure.
But I mean, I was just sort of, using it as a means of time and things. But to go back to what I was originally saying, it's the theatrics that always got me from a very early age. I've cited this before to people, but my earliest wrestling memory is certainly watching Undertaker, presumably on an episode of Superstars or something, and he's just beaten a job guy, and then he puts him in a body bag and then hits a leg drop on the body bag, and to a kid of 4 or 5 years old, that's terrifying. And I remember, I used to talk to my dad about it and be like, is he really dead? Is he really dead? And, probably my dad being my dad would probably say, oh yeah, definitely dead. People like Papa Shango, when he would set people on fire and have the black slime coming out, and Jake Roberts having the snake bite.
Macho Man.
Yeah, Savage, yeah. Stuff like that really, really embeds itself on your psyche, and you don't ever forget it. And as time's gone on, it's the theatrics that has always kept me there. The pageantry, the lights, the colors, the dramatics of it all, and it's something I'll never ever fall out of love with.
Yep.
And any promotion who does things in an old school way, what some may call the proper way, if you will always get my attention. And it's always what I've tried to imbue in New Wave Pro is that sense of theatrical escapism, brightness, loudness, silliness, even. Like it's got to be silly because look at what you're presenting. And when it's done right like that, it can really make a difference to people.
We're talking with Earl Joseph at the Liverpool Lip on Twitter. Give him a follow at NewWave_Pro. November 12th, New Wave Pro Higher Ground 2.0. Doors are at 6:30, bell time 7:30. They're also doing a food drive at 6 o'clock. Bring your canned goods and all that stuff. I mean, come on, we're getting to that time of the year, holiday season. So bring a bunch of canned shit and donate to the food drive, and then see an awesome wrestling show. You'll feel great, and then you'll feel even better. Unless your guy loses, and then you're a fucking loser. But let's hope your guy doesn't lose.
Yeah, with the food drive, we Terre Haute is a very tight knit place. A lot of people are born there and they live there and they die there.
I get it.
And
sounds awful.
No, it's got its charm. I've come to really like the place. And I live in Indianapolis myself, but I spend a lot of time in Terre Haute. But we just want to give back. New Wave Pro has long been a pillar of the local community in Terre Haute, and it's provided people with hours of entertainment and memories. And we want to just literally help people. And as you say, Matt, it's coming up to Thanksgiving, coming up to Christmas. It's cold. People are struggling with jobs and income. And if we can just make a difference to one person, then it's all worth it.
I dig it.
Sorry, I'm doing 1,000 things over here. Yes, so check out New Wave Pro Higher Ground 2.0. What's the match for 2.0 that you're looking forward to the most from a fan's perspective and from the inner workings? What do you think is going to steal the show here at this Higher Ground 2.0 show?
I think, and I hope none of the guys and girls are watching because I'm probably going to be the recipient of a couple of question mark DMs. I would put my hat on Mad Dog Connolly versus Eric Dillinger for the Higher Ground Championship. Mad Dog Connolly won the Higher Ground Championship on the October 8th episode of Higher Ground in a really, really brutal match with Tanakila. And now Dillinger is challenging for it. Connolly and Dillinger have actually fought each other at New Wave on a little special thing we did called Rogue Nation. We filmed it at like 4 a.m. in the morning at that venue, no crowd. We just decided to go crazy. But now we're going to have a crowd there to witness just what these two are capable of. I'd also just like to put my hat on Eden Von England versus Charlie Cruel because I think they are two very capable wrestlers, and they are, as I said in my last answer, they are loud, colorful, and they'll put on a great spectacle.
Now, not to take away from the Higher Ground show, but November 27th, November Rain at the National Guard Armory. You guys are bringing Alex Zane, former guest of the show and recently released from the WWE, and he's taking on Aaron Williams. Any other tricks up the New Wave Pro sleeve? Maybe we can get some breaking news here.
We've got a ton of stuff, man. I'll just quickly run it down. As you say, Alex Zane, formerly of WWE, coming to Terre Haute. And that's in line with, we've had two other notable former WWE guys. In May, we had Mike Bennett, and in July, we had JTG. So, New Wave Pro gets the names, gets the stars. Zane versus Williams. Zane is even sponsored by Taco Bell. I mean, that's how in-depth we try to go. We try to make sure everything is sorted. We've got Solomon Tupu, our New Wave Pro champion. He will be in 6 days. He will have held that belt for an exact year, and he faces Don't Die Miles, and this is Don't Die Miles' first ever shot at the New Wave Pro Championship. But Solomon has beaten people like Lord Crew. He's beaten Aaron Williams. He's beaten Ace Perry. He's beaten Conan Lycan, and there's a lot of people he's put down in order to keep this championship. And Miles is going to have the challenge of a lifetime. We have Cole Radrick and Sage Phillips, former best friends, now fantastic enemies, in a dog collar match, which is going to get violent. If you like old school violence, then these two will leave no stone unturned. We have Gary J, who I'm sure you're all familiar with, taking on Freddie Hudson for our Crossroads Championship, which is equivalent to the Intercontinental Championship, if you will. We have Eric Dillinger, that man again, and Nate Matthews in a street fight. Now, these two have had a great rivalry. They fought each other at September 25th, and Nate Matthews got the win there, and it was Eric Dillinger's first loss at New Wave Pro, first direct pinfall he suffered. So Dillinger in the street fight is going to be looking to get revenge. We also have, as you pointed out, Beef versus Morgan Taylor. Big Beef.
Big Beef, baby. Let's go.
Yeah, that's a match that surprised a few people, but we pride ourselves on unearthing some real diamonds, people who are looking for just one big opportunity, and Taylor has the biggest opportunity of his career here against Beef. And as we know, Beef was signed or confirmed today for MLW. So this is a real chance. If Taylor gets the win, it will propel him. We also have the Von Englands defending the tag team titles against Nick King and Orion Creed, both from St. Louis, both very, very capable guys. And that's it for now. But don't discount there being more, certainly.
Gorgeous Morgan Taylor. I'm not gonna, and look, I am in no position to say anything about anybody. He's not very gorgeous. Is that?
Yes, he is. He's beautiful.
Why isn't he beautiful, Morgan Taylor, then, Earl?
I don't know, because the patent was already taken. I don't know.
Fair enough, Bobby. You know that patent.
No, it's a really the way he works that is fantastic, and sometimes there's a barometer for me where it's not just about entertainment, but if somebody makes me laugh, which is kind of difficult, if somebody just makes me laugh or smile just by simply like being in my presence, and I'm just like, I'm putting all my support behind this person.
I like that. Kevin's gonna pee his pants and he doesn't want to be disrespectful for you. I told him, Kevin, just go pee. Don't piss yourself.
Yeah,
unless you want to make Earl laugh.
I thought you meant just go now, like right here.
No, like go take a piss. Earl's not going anywhere. Me and Earl can shoot the shit. I can ask questions.
Earl, I will be right back. Give me 2 minutes. Buddy.
Please don't give yourself burst kidneys on my account, mate.
All right, Kevin's gonna go take a piss. Me and Earl are gonna hang out. And how long, Earl? Oh, look at that! Look at Kevin.
Don't zoom in. I don't need to see.
Nope.
Don't pee on the screen, Kevin. There you go. Better. How long did it take you to be able to say Terre Haute?
Just on the first go, honestly.
Really?
Yeah.
I can't speak English for shit, and that would drive me crazy. Terre Haute. I wouldn't be able to say that. Like now, I can say.
I think I surprised a lot of people when I said, "Oh, it's French for higher ground," which is why the show's called Higher Ground. People go, "Really?"
Oh, look at you. What's the for you? What's the biggest difference being in the States versus your home?
Oh man, the biggest difference.
I'm sure there's 1,000. But look, it's the Midwest. It's not like you're here on the East Coast. People out here are a different breed. I'm sure it's a little easier over there.
I would say actually, and this is a point I've made to a few people, is that where I come from, specifically the northwest of England, is similar morally and sort of spiritually and philosophically to the Midwest. I think, they're primarily working class, post-industrial, neglected by government for generations, left to fend for themselves. And there's a certain, mental and physical fortitude that's crafted through that kind of living, that kind of atmosphere. And it did take me a while to adjust, certainly because, I'm a normal person who's moved to the other side of the world. But once I came to realize that, there are a lot of similarities, it made me feel a lot more at home. And there is one thing I find funny about people from the Midwest is that they are so quick to do themselves down when they have absolutely no need to. There's a very strong line of self-deprecation, which I think does people here do themselves a disservice. And it's kind of similar again to where I come from in the north of England. There is a quickness to do yourself down and maybe a fear of puffing yourself up too much. But, people who have fought hard for generations for the right to just carve a living out in what can be a harsh environment, honestly. And I'm just talking geographically. The Midwest is a very varied place geographically and topographically. And I think they should commend themselves for that. But I'm talking about the similarities when you asked me the complete opposite. The major difference is I found it really I didn't actually drive before I came to this country.
Oh God, dear Lord.
Yes.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah, so was I. Because I just kind of didn't need to. I got the train and bus everywhere. And then I moved to Indiana and there are no trains or buses, barely. So Indianapolis specifically is built for the automobile because it's just a big circle. And so that was the hardest adjustment for me. And I know it may sound kind of silly, I don't know, but that was something that took me a while to get. There's also the fact that here there really is a sense of freedom. It's easy as an outsider when you don't live in this country to sort of see when Americans talk about freedom and so on and so forth to kind of go, yeah, okay. But you come here and I feel like you can do and say what you like. And I feel like the environment that this country fosters in terms of, people actually being able to pursue what what goals they want without, sort of inbuilt social restrictions has allowed somebody like me to actually cultivate the career in wrestling that I have. I feel I may not have been able to do so back home for various reasons. But here I've sort of just burst in and shown my ambition, and people respond to that, and they receive it very well. And then it grows from there. So I would say they're the two main differences: the sort of the public transport issue, and then society's attitude to one another.
So being a wrestling fan, being involved in the business, I know you got the short end of the stick with the pandemic and everything, but you're bringing in the Alex Zanes, JTG, Michael Bennett. Have you had that moment yet where you've been with New Wave and you've brought in a talent and you just have the man, I can't believe I'm standing in the locker room with this guy?
I actually try hard not to have those moments. I try to stay focused, and maybe I'm guilty of denying myself kind of a bit of fun or a bit of self-congratulations, but I try, certainly at shows, I try really hard to just treat them like any other person and not get starstruck or take a selfie. But that's just me. But on a similar vein, when we did Mob Rules and we had a packed house, we had about 250 people in the Armory, and JTG was out, and the crowd, there was smoke and lights, and the crowd was going off. And one of the people on the show, another wrestler, came up to me and they put their arm around my waist and they said, this is because of all the hard work you put in. You should enjoy it. And I did actually feel a little emotional at that time. I was looking around. I was like, it's not solely because of me. I'm not that insane to think so, but I know I play a large part in it. It is a team effort. But to look around and take that in and actually for once remove myself and stop being so serious and focused, I think I felt like tears come to my eyes a little, or I certainly felt like there was something in my throat, and I was like, God, you know what? You're right. And just for a few seconds, it was all lifted off my shoulders, and I could see it for what it really was, and that was very liberating. Yeah,
you got to take it all in, man. These things don't last forever, and unfortunately, some of these guys don't last forever. And man, it's we've been up and down that road in the near 10 years where, you wake up and you just find out that someone you got to talk to is no longer with us, and you kind of wish you had taken that moment at that last show or that convention or wherever you were at, where you just walked up, shook their hand, took a picture just to have it, because those memories never go away. But it's nice to have something to look at. And yeah, man, take it all in, because once this goddamn world opens up again, the indie wrestling scene is going to be fucking bonkers.
I mean, honestly, it already is insane. I think the latter half of 2021 has been like a sort of video game left on GM mode, judging by all the stuff that's going on. Some of these combinations and some of these signings and shows you're seeing. I knew things were going to get crazy when we were trying to book, because we tried to book 3 or 4 shows in advance, and that normally spans 6 to 8 months depending. And people were already saying, sorry, can't do that. I'm booked in other side of the country. And you'd go, shit. Oh no, it's back to normal. Oh no. It's the moment I've been dreading for a year. Everyone's back and everyone's ready to go crazy. But just to go on what you said just a second ago, Matt, yes, I do need to take it in more. That's a personal goal for me. And I worked a show yesterday. I was ring announcing, and I made sure I actually took some selfies with people in the locker room. So I'm trying hard to step outside the moment, because I am guilty of being hyper focused and just kind of blinkered and getting the objective done. And then after it's all done, I go, oh, that went by quick. I wonder why that was.
Right. Yeah, if you don't stop and look around, you'll never see Robert Gibson and Ricky Morton's balls.
I thought you were going to do a Ferris Bueller riff then, but
nope. I stopped and I looked around and I saw Ricky Morton and Robert Gibson's balls.
Yeah, and it's 100% true, man. I'm at shows like every month, and like I'm just like, oh, should I? Like we're like, I did one because a couple of the boys were sitting with me at the music table, so I'm just like, all right, let's do this, guys, let's do it, boom, 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 and because Matt's 100% right. Like you don't know, not only if like the worst case scenario they pass on, but the best case scenario they move on to WWE or AEW, and then you'll never see him again anyway. So it's like,
not unless you want to pay $75. Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly.
No, I mean, I would simplify it even further. And I say, just for your own edification, just for memory building, and just to say, oh yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
There's so many things where I've come out of shows and gone, fuck, should have done something there. Should have taken a photo. Should stop being so fucking serious all the time.
Now, like Terry Funk, we're back at a show, and Terry Funk put both hands on my shoulders, and was like, "What town are we in?" Like that's a moment. Like, I don't need a picture of that. That's like the greatest moment that I'll have ever. Like, something like that. Like, so yeah. But I wish I could have had a picture of Terry Funk or Bret Hart or Ultimo Dragon or Jushin Thunder Liger or oh God. Anyway,
yeah, make the most of it. I mean, I know I'm a hypocrite for telling everyone to make the most of it, but I'm trying to. So at least learn from my example, if anything.
Yep.
Earl, let me ask you a question before we wrap up this little interview here. New Wave Pro, any way for us to watch it? Is it on IWTV, YouTube?
Oh yeah, it's on IWTV. Just search for New Wave Pro. Since July 2020, honestly, we've put a ton of shows on. We've just gone crazy. We also have, excuse me, sorry, the Diet Coke's coming back. On YouTube, we put a ton of free matches for full from all our shows going back to last year. Every week or so, we'll put a new match on, normally in line with who we've got coming up at shows and the things. So just as a means of promotion, but we're giving away tons of free independent wrestling with people that you are going to see on your television in the next few years. I can guarantee you that. So get on it while it's good. We're also on Twitter and Facebook. You said New Wave _Pro, and we're just New Wave Pro on Facebook. We try very hard to do regular video content and push our storylines through social media. So if you like being kept actually up to date and abreast of what's going on and having callbacks and being reminded as to why things are actually happening, then follow the New Wave Pro social media, because we tell you, we hold your hand and we tell you exactly what's happening. And I guess just before we do wrap things up, just want to plug once more, Higher Ground, Friday, November 12th, 1439 Ash Street, Terre Haute. Dillinger versus Mad Dog Connolly for High Ground Championship. Nate Matthews, Sid Von England. Eden Von England versus Charlie Cruel. Sage Phillips is going to be there. Solomon Tupu has announced that he's going to be there, and he said he's feeling unpredictable, so who knows how that'll go. And we have November Rain, Saturday, November 27th. That's Thanksgiving weekend. Man, eat all the food you want. Make sure you come a couple of days later to New Wave Pro at the National Guard Armory. Tickets start at only $10 for general admission. And you're going to see people like Alex Zane, Aaron Williams, Don't Die Miles, Solomon Tupu, Gary J, the Von Englands, Cole Radrick and Sage Phillips in a dog collar match, Eric Dillinger and Nate Matthews in a street fight. You're going to see Beef. Beef's just been signed by a company that has global coverage. Beef, fuck yeah. And you only need to pay $10 general admission. Terre Haute is only 90 minutes from Indianapolis. It's a couple of hours from Louisville. You're about 3 hours from Chicago. Guys, I can't say enough. You should come, because this is going to be one of these shows of the year. And I don't just say that. I mean it.
Well, Earl, there's that English again getting in the way. Earl, we appreciate you taking the time out of your schedule to join us at the Liverpool Lip on Twitter. Make sure you're following him. The ticker has been going all night with all the info for New Wave Pro at New Wave _Pro. I just subscribed to your YouTube channel, the New Wave Pro YouTube channel. So I'll take some time this week and catch up on the product. We wish you all the best of luck with these shows in the future. And anytime you want to come back, Earl, you're more than welcome here to shoot the shit. We had a great time. We could talk figures. We could talk WCW. We could talk about the weird shit that us Americans do that you don't understand.
Well, we'll have to do a 5-hour special, but yeah, sure.
We're good. Hey, we're good at 5-hour specials, Earl. And I know you kind of just reached out to us out of the blue, but you're right smack dab in the middle. We're 3 weeks away from 10 years as a podcast. So we're super excited that you could be along for the ride, even if you showed up a little late. But strap in, because we got a lot of shit planned.
Thank you, Kevin. Thank you, Matt. It's been a real pleasure to be on, and I will definitely be on in the future if you'll have me.
Love it, Earl. Love it. Enjoy the rest of your night, and we'll talk soon.
Thank you. Take care.
Thank you, Earl. The Liverpool Lip Be sure to follow him on the Twitter machine. Kevin, let's take a commercial break because now I got to take a piss.
Boy, that was we're getting very dangerous territory.
Yeah, no, I hear you, man. Look, if Parrow was fantastic, Earl was fantastic. I got fucking Bill Apter sending me Twitter messages over here.
What is Bill Apter? All right, go take a peek. Look who's here.
Showed up. Tony's here. Tony, we're just gonna. You know what? I'm gonna take a piss, Kev. We're not even. Tony, you ready? Hit me, Tony. Hit me with the show. What's wrong?
Oh, you can't hear him.
Sorry. Hey, boys, what's up?
All right, Tony, I'm going to take a piss now because we were just going to do a commercial break. But since you're here, we don't need to do a commercial break. You could tell the wonderful people out there about the fantastic shows on the Shining Wizards Network. We got upcoming guests scrolling across the bottom there. I'm going to go take a lizard, and then we'll come back. And Tony's here. Tony, guess what? We haven't talked a shred of any wrestling, so we got so much to catch up on. I'm going to pee and shut my mouth.
Yeah, Tony's going to be real late, but then he's going to leave it a half hour.
Okay. Do you have to go pee? I know you peed already, but do you have to go get a drink ski or anything?
Who, me?
Who, you? Yeah, you.
Do you need a little buffer time? Do you want to
No, I figured if you want to take a break, I'm going to cover plug skis and Patreon skis and all that other stuff. So feel free to go get a beverage.
No, you know what? I think I'm good. I'll hang out unless you feel like I'll just be a disturbance.
No, not at all. But you know what, Kev? You know what's a great disturbance to have? 8 fucking shows available on the Shining Wizards Network, Kev. We're talking Midnight Jury with Mike Norengonger and Calvin Brody. We're talking the Mark Order podcast with fucking Ryan Schlong and Kate the Hate and Great and I don't know, whatever else rhymes with that. And fucking Matt and Anthony Roos.
Maybe I will sit this out.
All right, go ahead. Go away. I can't even see you anyway because I'm reading off the screen. Justin and Vince over at Inclusive Breakdown. Phil and the fucking handsomest motherfucker on the network, Jay over at Turnbuckle Throwbacks. Snowy, he's got a fucking double for you. Radioactive Metal and Wrestling Night in Canada. He's got 2 fucking shows because he's all that and a bag of fucking chips. Last but not least, our boy RJ over at Ringside Rant, crushing it each and every Friday. Don't miss out on that. And of course, they're not members of Shining Wizards Network, but there are brothers from down under, the Brocast, where they're fucking brothers and they spell it with a K. Don't fucking forget that. Speaking of forgetting things, we are... Oh, look at this. Wait, I'm all by myself? Oh, I can't because now Kevin's there. How the fuck did I do that? I'm fucking things up already. Let me try that. There we go. Now it's me, and I'm all handsome. Woohoo! Look at me taking over the show, bitches. Folks, I don't know if you were aware of this, but you can, of course, support the Shining Wizards as one of our Patreon producers. Wah, 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 wah. That's right. Each and every week right here on the Shining Wizards, you're a Patreon producer for as little as $1. We will mention your name. If you donate $3 a month, you get access to our, unfortunately not growing at the moment, but growing very soon, archive of exclusive episodes. We cover pay-per-views. We cover matches. We cover wrestler profiles. We do every fucking thing you can imagine. Well, almost everything. But anyway, that's our $3 tier. $5, we will plug your shit. You got shit, especially Kate, because she got tons of shit to plug. We'll plug anything and everything you want. $10, $20, I don't even know. We got boxes of wizardry every 3 months that you're fucking giving us ducats. We're giving you cool wrestling shiznits. Who doesn't like wrestling shiznits? I love wrestling shiznits. Matter of fact, I took a big old wrestling shiznits before I got on the show tonight. What? Anyway, time to thank those who continue to support us, the wacky motherfuckers of the Shining Wizards Network. We got Kathy Hummer, the queen of the Shining Wizards. We got Manny Crazzo, the king of the Shining Wizards. Anthony and Danny Rusinello, the AOP of the SWP. We got the Shawns from halfway around the world from each other, Sean Toe and Sean Guile. We got Brett Simonello. What do you say, motherfucker? That's right, Brett. We love you too. Of course, Kate the Great. She fucking gets so excited every time we mention her name, but how can we not? She's all over the place, but you can find her in the one and only place where she will promote your shit instead of promoting herself, because she is a shameless self-promoter. Easy for me to say, but she will also help you promote your shit with the same intensity and shamelessness. OnDeckIC.com is the place. Head on over there. And she'll also send you thirst trap pictures. Maybe. I don't know. It's a rumor I heard. I can't confirm that, but whatever. Matt Garifo, no relation to the KJG. Matt Mellinger, definitely no relation to the KJG. They don't even have the same fucking name. I'm losing my mind.
Yep.
Christine Friesendorf, Mark Parolini, Happy birthday, Mark. I just realized like a fucking week ago that we've been saying his name wrong for fucking 10 years, but we wish him happy birthday every fucking week because every week it feels like his birthday. It's awesome. We love it. The Scotch drinks more himself, Kenny Hossey. Fucking handsomest guy on the Turnbuckle Throwbacks, Jay Kopp, the big copper pump. The Mod Spock, Thomas Cobbs. I heard that fucking guy's coming back to this area. Why would you come here? We're all trying to leave. Stay the fuck on fucking whatchamacallit, wherever the fuck you're from. Milwaukee, Tom, you fuck. Michael Hammond, Matthew Birch, the true Prince of Pro, Braden Berger, and I think he's the LeBron James collecting motherfucker, whatever he does. Brendan Haney, Kerry Cowling, that motherfucker from the Wednesday night show, Ryan Schlong. And of course, last but not least, I don't even know if Kevin's back because I'm on the screen, but his pal Antonio Hosserman makes experimental music at harvestmanrecords.bandcamp.com. He's the one, the only, too sweet to be sour, too lean to be mean, the ferociousest motherfucker on the planet, William Mercier Jr.
Lives are gonna be in William Mercier's hands. You know what I mean? I just did it for that read.
Hey, Tony, Kate wants to know, where is Milwaukee Tom from?
That's a great
After
question.
I put her over 15 times, she's gonna.
I mean, his fucking name is Milwaukee Tom, and you were running around like a maniac.
God.
Happy
Welcome
Halloween,
to the
boys.
show, Tony.
You know, I was gonna jump in after Parrow, and then I was getting everything set up, and then I realized you'd already started on the next guest, and I was just like, well, I'm gonna be sitting out for a little while, so it's all cool, it's all good.
Well, we had a good time with Parrow and Earl. Now it's us time. Now
That's it. It's boss time.
So where do you guys want to start?
Ring of Honor, please.
Ring of Honor. Okay.
I know you spent a little bit of time, well, a lot of bit of time talking about it on Wednesday, but I figure if there's anything else you want to vent about or get Kevin's opinion on anything, but
well, more news has come to the forefront. So for those of you who are not up on your wrestling news, you're not on the Dirt Sheets or the Fightful or the PW Insider or wherever you get your wrestling news from. Last Wednesday afternoon, Ring of Honor sent out an email. It said, throughout the pandemic, our top priority was to keep everybody healthy and safe. And despite not producing any live events over 18 months, we were able to keep everyone fully contracted. We now find ourselves at a time where we need to make changes to our new business strategy and are planning a pivot for Ring of Honor with a new mission and strategy. This year will culminate with Final Battle in December, and we will be taking the first quarter of 2020 to work internally to re-image Ring of Honor. We anticipate returning to live events in April for Supercard of Honor with a new fan-focused product and provide a unique experience for wrestling fans. So this is the email that goes out about, 1, 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Maybe half an hour later, Dave Meltzer tweets, everyone from Ring of Honor has been released from their contracts.
FDM all day, every day.
Chaos completely ensues in the internet wrestling community as people are scrambling to figure out what is going on. As Tony mentioned, the Mark Order podcast Wednesday nights on the Shining Wizards Network. By the time we went to air, we had heard that they were paying everybody who was under contract up until the end of 2021. If you had signed a contract this year, or if you had signed a contract through 2022, you will be paid till March of 2022.
Yep.
So right before they start running their, right before hopefully they start running events again. Then it came down that this was not a Ring of Honor decision. This is a Sinclair Broadcasting decision. And then the next day, Sinclair Broadcasting says there's technical difficulties and they can't put out a new episode of Ring of Honor TV. So they instead air a best of Jay Lethal, and they released the Ring of Honor TV episode, the Halloween special, exclusively on YouTube last night at 7 o'clock. And then more reports come out that say Ring of Honor going forward will be they will be run like an indie promotion like they were back when they started. So it will be non-contracted indie talent that will be featured throughout the company. It's a lot to unpack there. and there's still no answers. We don't know what the future of Ring of Honor, if there is a future of Ring of Honor. So let's go to Kevin here. And Kevin, let's talk. What are your thoughts? How are you feeling about this? You've had a little time to digest all this information since Wednesday.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. And the fact that it's a Sinclair decision and not a Ring of Honor decision, which is kind of pretty obvious up front, just makes me believe that realistically and honestly, we have seen, and just based on the tweets that I've seen from a lot of friends and former guests of the show and people in Ring of Honor, to me, if it comes back as an indie the way it started, all right, great. But I have no faith that Ring of Honor coming back.
Is that just based on all the
None.
stuff you've seen out there?
Decisions like this don't in a business don't get made like unless the company has extremely little faith in you. Like, and they did the right thing. Ring of Honor and Sinclair did the right thing during this entire 2-year pandemic. And so they did it. And you're not making money while you're taking care of an entire staff for 19 months. You're not winning, you're not making money. So at the end of the day, it just comes down to making money, and they weren't doing it. So it to me, again, I know nothing. I'm very limited in my knowledge of a lot of this stuff, but to me, this reeks of like Turner WCW, not with that as malicious intent. I'm sure Sinclair would love to have Ring of Honor around for as long as it is profitable and is entertaining, and as long as it would one day hopefully maybe put shows on the million syndicated channels they have. But it's just, I don't think Ring of Honor is going to be back. You might get your super card because, you can't just not do that. But if it's still around by June, I'd be shocked.
T-Donk.
Do you think Ring of Honor trying to take care of their wrestlers during the pandemic with all of the strictures they put in place, with continuing to pay them, even though they weren't running live shows and had no real form of income, do you think that had any factor into this decision?
Yeah, it was but it was the right thing to do at the time. And they can't do that unless Sinclair signs off on it, I don't think. So it was 100% the right thing to do at the time, but now it's 100% catching up with them, and there's a whole lot of other outside factors. Joe Koff did a whole interview on PW Insider with them, so there's a whole lot of different situations. Again, I didn't dive into my research on the financials, so I have no clue. But there's no doubt in my mind that it's not good, and I don't think that it'll be back the way that we know it. If it's an indie, it's an indie. That's one thing. But
I think the puzzling thing is they are owned by a broadcasting company, yet I know nobody that gets Ring of Honor on their TV.
Yep. 100% right on that.
And I know you're not doing live shows, but you can drive the Honor Club. You can drive their merch. I got these goddamn fucking pillow buddies over here, and they weren't goddamn cheap. You sons of bitches. It is very, very strange. And the library is for sale, but only from 2011 to current day. And Sinclair signed a deal with that Women of Wrestling company that's restarting.
Mm-hmm.
But they didn't. But he said that would be like he thought that would be. Joe Koff, I think, said this. That would be a complementary aspect of Ring of Honor. Like it would be like Ring of Honor, then WoW, or WoW, then Ring of Honor. But I don't know. But I think Ring of Honor just is like they just got gutted. They got gutted too much. And Kate mentioned it in the group, and I've said I believe that the Elite leaving was one of those outside factors that totally like completely deflated Ring of Honor.
Well, they and look, you can the blame for that kind of falls on Ring of Honor. They gave Cody and the Young Bucks, they said, you can use all our shit to run your fucking mega show in Chicago. You can use our ring, you could use our production crew. Knowing that at the end of that year, their contracts were up. And they kind of got they
got hosed.
Yeah, they went to do the good deed, and at the end of the year, they turned around. They didn't sign any contracts, and all the Ring of Honor shows that the Elite was on were some of the highest, shows they've ever done in terms of attendance and gates, and they were kind of, look, they sold out the Garden with New Japan, and that sold out, before the tickets went on sale in August, and it sold out in a day. I don't know if people bought tickets thinking they were going to see Kenny Omega and the Bucks and stuff. I think it was kind of that may have played a fact in it, but I also think it was like, this is the first non-WWE show to be at the Garden in forever, because none of those guys are on that show. It was an amazing show, but then you look at it from after that, and it was kind of all downhill from there with Ring of Honor, and they started to go on the upswing with Marty doing the booking, and the stuff with the NWA and Nick Aldis was fucking great. And then COVID happens, and then the Me Too stuff with Marty, and then COVID. I mean, it's been it sucks, man. It sucks that none of these guys knew this was coming.
Well, I mean, Ring of Honor is like the equivalent of the small business in America during COVID. It's granted, it might be owned by a billionaire company that might not see it as an asset, but that's the case. Whether if you're a small business or if you're a business owned by a company that doesn't see you as a profitable asset, you're likely going to be chopped. There's like chain restaurants closing stores. You might be owned by a billionaire, but you're technically kind of like individually owned. And so you're going to feel the wrath of what the last few years have been like for every small business. So that's essentially what it is.
Yeah, but then my question to that is, but did Sinclair do everything in their power to try? Like, I kind of feel like not. It's like an ECW TNN deal. Like, it was just like,
All right. What could Sinclair do? Put it on WGN? Don't they own WGN?
I don't know what. Look, they could have put it all over. No, Kevin, nobody I know watches. They don't have Ring of Honor on their fucking TV.
All right,
that's a problem.
All right, so how much would it have? How much of a difference? I don't know what channel Sinclair owns. Don't know, but I'm assuming it's nothing. It's not Turner. It's not USA. It's not. God, it's not FS1. It's they might own Fox stations. Actually, now that I think about it,
the ultimate problem though is it's kind of hard to monetize a show with the viewership they have on their website. Like, to me, if you have these networks, you're looking for programming. Why wouldn't you try throwing Ring of Honor out there? Maybe you can get some advertising. Maybe you can get some revenue that way.
You're gonna get the car dealership from down the block in Elks River, Maryland,
for sure. Look at who used to advertise in wrestling, like in Minneapolis or in Georgia. It's car dealerships. You mean to tell me you wouldn't fucking like pop hard if like Vincent was selling cars and fucking, in Baltimore somewhere? Like that's what they did. Fucking there's commercials of Jesse Ventura walking out with cases of beer from a local liquor store in Minnesota. Like that's how they got their revenue. That's how they made their money on TV.
They have 185 television stations, 620 channels, and 86 U.S. markets.
All right, so but like, is Channel 1 like, Home Shopping 2 is? I think they own a lot of Fox affiliates around the area. I don't, or someone does, but like, what are the channels? Like, at the end of the day, like, would that even matter?
They have Fox, ABC, CBS, NBC, MyTV, CW.
Okay, there you go. All right, that's
different. Two logos I don't know.
But you all forget too. I mean, ECW was a bought show. Like, like they had to buy time on networks. Like they were piecemeal all over the country, and they still, word got out about them. You know what I'm saying?
Would that have mattered during a pandemic though?
No, but I mean, how long has Sinclair been involved? I mean, they've been involved for years already, right, Matt?
Probably a while, yeah. You're probably right.
I think since like 2012.
But
so that's what I mean. That's what I mean. Like,
well, they were on TV. They've been on TV before that.
Right. They were on HD Net before that. Sinclair Broadcasting Company owns Ring of Honor.
Correct.
Right. So before that, they were on HD Net when they were just Ring of Honor, and they were hemorrhaging money. And that's when Gabe and what's his nuts was running the company.
Carrie?
Finkelstein was already out. Yeah, I think Carrie was in with Gabe, but they were losing money hand over fist, and that's when Sinclair came out and brought them out.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So is it possible that over time Sinclair felt that Ring of Honor wasn't bringing in enough advertising revenue to air them on their show, on their channels? Maybe,
but that's 9 years without taking a chance with them. Like it's strange because you're a fucking you're a television network company. Like that's the business you're in, and somebody gives you something that actually plays well on television. You don't take a chance. It's just so weird.
But if I'm like someone that owns like 12 like freaking lemonade stands, right? And this lemonade stand is bringing in dog shit, while this freaking lemonade stand over here starring Guy Fieri or some bullshit like that, or freaking Walter Cronkite, or for anyone is bringing in this much. Why wouldn't I put that on this instead of the lemonade stand that's not making me dick?
Well, because Guy Fieri maybe gets a primetime spot, and maybe you give Ring of Honor a shot at like 1 a.m.
At the end of the day, what does that do for you in 2020, 2021?
Because everyone's looking for content on TV.
I mean, they own
100. Not at 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock in the morning. They'll watch it on YouTube the next day.
Are they watching it on YouTube the next day though?
Were they watching it at 1 o'clock in the morning or whenever it was on?
I mean, they did when it was ECW.
I'm talking about Ring of Honor.
Sure. When you go to the Sinclair Broadcasting Group website, you can click on a Ring of Honor link. Nowhere in here does it say anything as to where you can watch it.
Because they probably feel like it's not worth putting on.
But if you own it, just put if people want to watch it, you don't think you'd make it accessible for people to just look up and see if it's available?
Is Ring of Honor the only thing they own?
See, they own Tennis Channel, Stadium, News Operations, Comet TV, Charge, Stir.
Right, let's put Ring of Honor on the Tennis Channel, see how that goes over.
No, I mean, when you click fucking Ring of Honor on the fucking website, it has zero information as to where I can see it.
Because it's probably not on anywhere.
So then what's the point of being a fucking TV company and owning a wrestling promotion and not putting it on TV?
To sell it eventually and make more money.
Yeah, but how are you going to make money if you're devaluing the brand by not doing fuck all with it?
Because it's wrestling. Someone will buy it and on the name value. How much money did WCW make or Turner make on the sale of WCW? Nothing.
So Kevin, your point though is that they'll eventually make money on it. How are they going to make money on it if nobody's fucking watching it or nobody knows where it is or nobody even knows it exists?
But here's where you're wrong now, because people are watching it, just not on TV.
Because it's not available on TV.
That's the fucking dichotomy. So put it on fucking TV. You can't. I could imagine Stadium is some fucking like whacked out sports network. You couldn't fucking throw it on there for an hour a week. You can't. Something can't retain value. I can't argue that. Something can't retain value if nobody knows where it is or how to watch it or where to watch it. That gives them no reason to watch it. So whatever value you have, it's diminishing the longer it's not available and you're not making people aware of it.
And you're paying for production. You're sending people to fucking Baltimore to record it.
Yeah.
I mean, you can make the exact opposite argument. You can make the argument that as soon as you keep using something, it depreciates in value every single time you use it. Whereas if you don't, like say like a sports team that's being revitalized, like say like remember when the Cleveland Browns became the Baltimore Ravens. Right? They became the Baltimore Ravens. What happened with the Cleveland Browns? They brought them right back to Cleveland and they're a gold mine again. So that could happen with Ring of Honor. If someone wants to take a chance and buy it.
Who's gonna fucking want it? It's worth the paper it's written on. Nothing. It's
Listen,
like you said, if you have an NFL team and you're not investing in your team, who's gonna fucking want to come see them play? Look at the Expos. Look at the Montreal fucking Expos. They did fuck all, and they had like 100 people showing up for games, and they had to fucking move them out of the goddamn country.
And a team was willing to pay for it, weren't they?
Because it's an MLB franchise. You think somebody's gonna be willing to pay for Ring of Honor because it's wrestling?
Not as much as a MLB franchise, but someone will buy it.
Not nearly as much. You know who's gonna buy it?
Of course, not nearly as much. WCW was a national franchise. It wasn't nearly as much as it was worth at one point. It was purchased for. Listen, I am saying this. Like I get it. Yes, should Ring of Honor, if Sinclair wanted it on, it would have been on. Clearly, they didn't want it on.
But my thing is this isn't a new problem. They've never put them on TV. So the investment makes 0 sense from day one for me. Why would you buy Ring of Honor if you're not going to put them on any of the TV channels that you own?
All right. So let me ask you this. At that time, they may have thought that the live events and merch and all that stuff may have been more profitable than a TV channel.
But how do you get more people to go to live events? They watch the fucking product and they go, I can't wait for this company to come to my town. Right? That's what
that's a fair point.
Was.
That's a fair point, but I mean, that's a good one.
I mean, Kev, we went to a ton of Hammerstein ballroom shows, and towards the end, it was like there was fucking nobody there. It was sad.
All right. So, listen, and here we go. Not every investment's a good investment. Maybe they thought it was going to be a good investment at the time, and they felt like, hey, we're not going to invest in it anymore. And that's it. And there's your answer.
I think it's just a shitty on Sinclair because all these people had signed contracts. They woke up fucking Wednesday morning.
Oh, no one's arguing that. It's a bad move out of Sinclair. Bad
now
move.
to I don't know whose ever credit is involved when they just said, even if you are you're signed to this contract, we will pay you until your contract runs out and you're welcome to go work elsewhere.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I really hope it's not the end. I really hope they go back to what made Ring of Honor what it was in the early 2000s, where they could cycle in indie talent, kind of like a PWG.
But then, and if Sinclair still owns it, then it's a whole new investment all over again.
I mean, they still have plans to run the weekly TV show.
Yeah, well, because people are down there for tapings as we speak, I believe.
Yep, they're taping all the way up until Final Battle.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know enough about the situation. That was literally argument for me trying to understand why they would do it, trying to get in their heads. Maybe I didn't do a great job at it, but my only thing is that, again, they didn't think that it was worth the trouble to ever put it on. And again, bad move out of them. And just, it is what it is. I don't own a business. They own a business. I'm not going to tell them how. They clearly know something we don't.
T-Donk, thoughts?
I was more bummed for you than anything else about the story, because I know how much time you've invested in Ring of Honor, and I know how frustrating it can be just watching stuff like MLW each week and just scratching your head with booking decisions. But when it comes to like business decisions, and I know this was your baby, so I know you're probably taking it hardest out of more of us. And look, it's not to belittle or to slight anybody that's working for the company.
Yeah.
Guys that have been there forever, guys that we know that were hopefuls to get signed, that have been, working there on a weekly basis and loving the company. And what was not to love? Like, they provided a great platform. They were doing a great job. I'd say that Caprice and Ian, probably, I can make the argument that they're the best commentary team out there right now.
You could definitely make that argument. 100.
So,
I think they are.
So there's so much like good going on with this show. And just to hear this, it's like, I mean, fingers crossed, hopeful. Maybe they actually come up with a better game plan. So when April comes around, they know what they're going to do. Maybe it's not the same Ring of Honor, but maybe it's, a different Ring of Honor that people can sink their teeth into. I don't know. It'd be a real bummer to see this company go away after, dare I say, changed the business for at least, the first 10 years of their existence. And how many people they introduced us to.
It would hurt me more if they came back and they didn't bring this group of talent back for the most part. Like, that would hurt the most. Like, I get it if you have to reimagine it and you have to do it, whether it's if you don't think what you were putting on was good enough, or whether or not you just feel like you need to change. And it's not the first time we've seen wrestling companies change to think that they're doing a better thing for themselves. But I mean, I'm not a diehard like Matt, but I watched today. I watched the Halloween show today. I've watched over the last few weeks. I've tried to watch, and it's to me, it's different enough as is. It's good. It's a 100% the definition of an alternative to anything else that we're watching. Listen, every company is an alternative to another company. It's like Impact's different, AEW is different, WWE is different, GCW, they're all different. And I hope that if they do come back in April, and I didn't mean to sound like such a negative Nancy, because I really do hope nothing but the freaking best for them and everyone there.
Oh, we know you hate everybody, Kev. It's all right.
Yeah, listen, I'm drinking a gallon of water a day. I have to pee every 5 minutes, and plus the daddy sodas that I'm having tonight.
Oh boy.
And my back hurts. So other than that, no,
Jesus.
I love Ring of Honor. So
Kevin's falling apart.
I'm dead.
Really is. I'm 7 a day.
Dying.
7 a day there. Still, like, man, it's just I'm invested in all these characters and these people, and we know these people personally, a lot of them. Like, I reached out to a bunch of people Wednesday, just to be like, hey, if you like need anything, like, we're here for you. Like, I don't want to know. I don't want the scoop.
Yeah.
Like, I just felt bad. Like, I know they're going to land on their feet. The Shane Taylors, the Mike Bennett's, the LSGs, like, these guys are fucking super talented. Vincent, but like, man, this fucking, like, the Vincent storyline they're telling me with the foundation, like, I want to see that fucking play out. And now, like, they're down there taping now, like, it probably is going to be a fucking rush job because none of these guys are guaranteed to come back. I'm just like,
the Roosh job?
Man. No, Roosh is out. He's hurt his fucking knee. He's gone. He's out.
Oh, okay.
Like, even this week's show was fun with the mixed women tag match. Like, I fall in love with Quinn McKay. She's fantastic. Roxy's awesome. They've, like, turned no women's division into a very great women's division. And I don't even think we're going to get to see, like, they signed fucking Trisha Dora. They have Roxy. They have Miranda Alizé. They have Max the Impaler. Quinn McKay. Like, they have these great young talents. And I just don't think they're going to get an opportunity to shine. And it's fucking frustrating. This weird, like, trick or treat tag team match they had today where they just drew teams out of a hat. The fucking Flip Gordon storyline where he got concussed and now he doesn't remember the last 2 years. He comes out, he's fucking clean shaven Flip. Oh, yeah. He's doing his back. Like, it's fucking great stuff. Stuff with STP. I mean,
Sparky plug?
No, Shane Taylor promotion, man. They ended the show with Sledge attacking his teammates.
That's right. Yeah. So everyone says that, and we just said it on this show today. There's so many different places for people to work. Well, one of them might not be there anymore. So,
man, I hope not. I really hope not.
I want to see Sledge teaming up with Alexander Hammerstone, and we can call them Peter Gabriel.
I was going to say Sledgehammer, but I get what you're saying.
That's what I said.
Yeah, no, I got it. It took me a second. I was already in the mid conversation.
Sorry, the dumb things that go through my head.
Fault. No, it was brilliant, Tony. Don't sell yourself short. It was goddamn brilliant.
Well, Tony, in the world of MLW, there's going to be a lot of open spaces over there.
Jordan Oliver, dude, of all the people, Jordan Oliver.
Tom Lawler.
Oh, fuck, really?
His contract's done. He's gone.
Oh, well, his contract's done. We knew that. I mean, it's not like
wait, they got rid of Jordan Oliver?
Yeah.
Mance
Buku
Warner.
Dow's gone. Well, Mance Warner left last year.
Well, he's been trying to leave last year. Since last year.
Yeah, well,
I think he finally got let go.
Because, I mean, the thing is, like, Mance is still doing, like, indie shows all over the place. It's not like,
Yeah.
Not anymore.
Well, him and Danhausen fucked up their Leggenhausens.
Yeah, they did.
I haven't heard the extent of Mance's injury, but they say it's a lot worse than what Danhausen went through. Is that true?
Danhausen broke his tibia and his fibia, so
yeah. So, I mean, that's rough, but they were saying Mance was in worse shape.
So wait, were they still doing Injustice with
Yeah, they had been.
the
Matter of
last
fact,
thing.
it looked like they were heading towards Injustice in LAX.
Yes.
and they got
'Cause
rid
L-
of Jordan
yeah.
Oliver?
Now, look, Myron Reed's still around. I think as far as I'm aware, he's going to still be in the hunt for the middleweight title. But I also read that Tajiri's taking the belt back to All Japan to defend it on shows there. So,
Well, yeah.
yeah,
But
and Buku Dao got cut. He hasn't been around too long.
Yeah, Beastman. I didn't even know who Beastman was.
Ah!
It wasn't that Beastman. And Leo Bryn. He was part of the stud stable.
Oh, the Texas guys that wrestled the Von Erichs. Remember?
I mean, he's one of them.
So they cut one and not the other?
Yeah.
That's weird. That's a weird way to break up a tag team.
Here's my problem with this.
Here we go.
Here's my problem with this Tom Lawler thing.
Well,
There's
now we're stuck with.
There's no payoff to this fucking feud.
And they have nothing taped?
They
Well, they taped stuff when they did Fightland with Hammer and Fatu, so I guess that's all in the cycle now.
Yeah, and there's tapings this weekend down there, I think, right? The War Chamber tapings.
But I mean,
yes,
to potentially get that blow off, nothing's taped for it yet?
Well, he's there till December, so he might be at the shows this weekend.
Who?
Tom Lawler.
He's a free agent right now.
Yeah,
I thought he was there till December 1st. No,
he's a free agent as of today.
Well, he might still work the show. Maybe Court convinces him, gives him a payday.
Yeah, but they said they were going to do that War Games in fucking Dallas, Texas, in 2022
in March.
Fuck out of here.
That's what you get for canceling that show, motherfucker.
Stupid fucking.
Yep.
Stupid feud. You dumb feud. You son of a bitch.
Did I mention I have 3 shots now?
You've had 3 shots?
I could fucking go all over the world according to fucking the CDC and all that shit.
Where
I'm getting mine on Friday.
Fuck yeah, dude.
The boost.
Fuck yeah.
I'm fucking over it.
Yeah, me too. I've been done. I don't know if you've noticed. I've been done. I don't give a fuck.
Another fucking shot. I'm not getting sick. I'm not wearing
a
fucking mask.
Dude, I got home Friday 2 weeks ago, and I saw the news. It might be necessary for people to get a 4th. I said, 4th your mother. I'm fucking done with this shit.
Yeah, I might draw the line at 3.
3's done, dude. Fucking done. There's no more room on my card either because the dummy at the fucking pharmacy wrote on the 4th line and skipped the 3rd line. So I was like, fuck this shit.
Just join the Dark Order right there?
I'm out. No, Tanahashi. Something like, Tanahashi. Some shit.
Fucking
I didn't watch MLW this week, so fuck all if I know what happened.
Oh, I did.
Anything exciting?
Let it rip, Matt.
Bobby Fish beat Lee Moriarty to advance.
Wait, aren't they both AEW guys?
Yeah, and they brought it up in commentary that they were AEW contracted wrestlers and they were wrestling for the Opera Cup. Oh, King Muerte's he's got some kind of deal. He's that Cesar Duran has to fulfill on his end of the bargain. So who knows there? Who knows what's happening there? Calvin Tankman was attacked by King Mo and Alex Kane, and he was blinded. So he I don't think will be participating in the next round of the Opera Cup.
Ooh, unless they do like a Jake Roberts fucking Rick Martel deal.
Oh, Tony, there was a Los Parks
blindfold match.
There was a Los Parks trick-or-treating segment.
Oh, were they looking for chorizos and calling everybody fucking putans and all that shit?
They were trick-or-treating back home, and they jumped a poor fan who had a Conan mask on and then said trick-or-treating was for children.
They didn't say anything about pendejos or anything like that with their
chorizos? It was on in the background. Then 5150 challenged Los Parks for the MLW tag titles because they're the champs, and I completely forgot about it because I never see them on fucking TV. Mads Kruger had 2 matches. He squashed Dr. Dax, and then he defeated Big Heavy, or Bud Heavy, excuse me.
Butt Heavy? Like he's got a big ass?
BUDD, Bud.
Oh, because he likes the bud.
Yeah. We also got hype videos for Enzo and Warhorse. They're coming to...
Oh, fuck yeah!
And then in the main event of the night, TJP beat Alex Shelley to advance in the Opera Cup.
Good for him.
There's also news that came out today that Court Bauer said Jeff Cobb will be in MLW ring this weekend.
Hula Hula, the pineapple guy. Love it.
Will he be in the ladder match? Will he be in the War Chamber match?
Ooh, Hammerstone's looking for a fourth partner.
He's looking for a fifth, motherfucker.
Contra Unit 5-on-5? I thought
Contra Unit added a Sentai Death Squad dude.
Why?
Because they want to make it 5-on-5.
Why?
Bro. Von Erichs aren't doing anything that day.
Is this double ring? This isn't even double. Oh, fuck. Why?
I don't know. You can ask Court Bauer that. Yeah.
Yep. Come on, what else we got? Let's go. We're far behind because you guys talk too much. Let's go.
Yeah, you talk too much. NWA this week, Tony. Did you watch the NWA?
I might have. There was a 3-way with Smiley and 2 other women.
Chelsea Green and Melina.
There you go. I think Melina won. She's the number 1 contender, right?
Melina won. Melina looking good.
She got them hitters, bro.
That match was fantastic. I thought the 3 ladies did a wonderful job. It upsets me because I know what happened with Kylie Ray.
Yeah, I know. We talked about it last week. It's a bummer.
I know. It's upsetting.
Yeah.
May Valentine beat up Tootie Lynn.
NWA.
And she don't give a shit about Tom Lattimore, and Strictly Business. Nick called us. Camille said that.
Camille.
Give a shit.
Camille.
Lady Frost and Sky Blue had a Burke's Rules match where you could not use a closed fist, you could not go over the top rope, and you could not jump off the top rope.
I hate that they use the word Burke. I hate it. Why? It just sounds so weird and awkward. The Burke.
The Hex beat Genocide and Pablo Blaze. And Mickey James beat Kira Hogan.
That was, you know what? That match reminded me of Bruno and Larry Zbyszko because it was like kind of like mentor and like mentee, or teacher and student and shit. And it was kind of cool because they were like playing off each other. Like Kira would get a move and then like Mickey James would get a move and then do something else on top of it. They told a great story in that match and respect at the end. So huzzah.
What else did you watch, T-Donk?
Ooh, wait a minute. I'm gonna be producer now. Wait, don't touch anything. Don't. Ha ha! Good shit. Ha ha!
What'd you think of it?
I thought it was fantastic when they were celebrating the McMahon's victory, and what's his nuts? The fucking attorney. What the hell's his name? It escapes me. Yes. They're at the bar having a drink, and he's like, "You should take the neck brace off." And they had that Vince McMahon guy just twirling the neck brace over his head. I fucking laughed really hard. It's such a McMahon thing to do. All I could picture was stand back playing while he was doing it too.
I thought it was okay.
I enjoyed it.
I didn't think it was anything like I didn't know already. You know,
but Phil Mushnick got some screen time. No, you know what it is? It's
Fuck
interesting
that guy.
to me. It's interesting to me because there's a lot of the ins and outs, like shit that they did where they were talking about Anabar, where it was like another drug that they were supposed to warn people about and they never did. So it was kind of like they shot themselves in the foot. It's like, well, you're telling people that steroids are illegal, this and that, but like, and you're looking out for people, but you got this whole fucking report about this other drug and you didn't do fuck all about it. It was the case that the FBI had was so fucking bad, dude. So bad.
Yes, it was.
And Hogan fucking stood up for him in the greatest way. Like they were like, Vince was pissed off, but Hogan's testimony actually fucking like did him a big solid. So it was great getting the inside shit. I enjoyed it.
Maybe the FBI stands for Federal Bad Investigations.
I enjoyed that.
All right, thank you, Tony.
Matt did too.
I didn't watch it yet. That's one like I'm hit or miss with the dark sides. This one I really want to watch, but you guys did it justice.
I just don't want to read results to you guys. I want to engage you, gentlemen. So
well, here's the thing. I still don't know. I still don't fucking know who won the NWA pay-per-view matches.
Why do you want to know? They're gonna make you buy the fucking thing.
No, they're actually airing one of the matches this week. I think they're airing Scion versus Mims tomorrow night, which is the only match I know the results to.
Why do you know the results to that?
Because it's the only thing they updated on fucking Wikipedia.
You can't trust Wikipedia. They
I
still
know. I had to edit Wikipedia myself because I had to fix the card.
Yeah. How do we know? Maybe you made the card yourself.
Do they still have the wrong card up on Wikipedia?
No, I fixed a lot of it, and somebody else actually went in and cleaned it up even more. So, yeah, but the only results they have were the fucking Mims and Scion match.
Kevin, I know you watched Halloween Havoc.
I did.
Remember a couple weeks ago when you were like, "Oh, you'll watch it until you don't like it."
How long, Matt? How long?
All right. So here's the thing.
I did not like Halloween Havoc.
Oh my god, I'm burping. Internal burps. All right, so here's the thing, Matt. We're going back Tuesday now.
I got the result. I'll walk you through the whole thing. I took notes of
everything else I watched. I forgot that I watched this.
I can walk you through the whole thing.
I need you. I need your help. All right, so let me start off off the top of my head. The only thing I didn't care for was the whole in between stuff.
Yes, I'm with you. Chucky was atrocious.
Yeah.
Right. All the look, I get it. Right. Here's the thing. I can deal with the Elite dressing up as Ghostbusters and the Dark Order dressing up as characters because it's Halloween and they're wrestling. The backstage shit. The backstage shit at like where we're supposed to think like all the good guys and bad guys are gonna get together for a Halloween party now, and they're all gonna dress up, and they just kind of hang out like. And this fucking hand job dressed as a vampire is. I don't even know who this guy is. I hated it.
Oh, the Australian guy,
Grayson Waller.
Yeah, Grayson Waller. He's been a featured guy, and then I think he did something to LA Knight, and then LA Knight had to come out later. And
oh no, I saw him dressed as a vampire too, right?
Yeah, dude. I think I tweeted this too. I was like, I never thought I'd ever tweet this. But God, I hope LA Knight gets called to the main roster because NXT is like literally like not the place you want to be anymore. If you're LA Knight,
like I thought the women's ladder match was awful.
No, I'm mad. I know I have tweets about this, and I know I have messages to my friend about this. I actually enjoyed a lot of the in-ring stuff on NXT. It was just the Dexter Lumis, Gargano stuff, and I get it. It's Halloween Havoc. It's one of those themed shows where they do it. But I get it. But it's just like, again, to your point about my point is like, how long can I put up with NXT not being what I was used to NXT being?
Yeah, like I like the Joe Gacy match. I like the Joe Gacy character. Yeah. Whatever they're doing with this Parker Bordeaux kid, whatever they're called, Harlan.
Parker Bordeaux.
Yeah, what is it? Harlan. He's got the shaved head, and he comes out.
Yeah, I forget his name because I want to say that might be too close to Ridge Holland. I don't know. Maybe it is Harlan.
I think it's Harlan. Harlan.
Harlan Sanders, like the Colonel.
I don't know what his last name is.
I say, eat my fried chicken. I say.
Like the Roderick Strong Odyssey Jones match. I was like, whatever. Why is this even here? The women's match wasn't bad. The fucking
Dakota Kai return was good.
That was cool. The tag match was good. I hate the fucking. They like took something I loved and spin the wheel, make the deal, and they literally just took Nelly's shitty butthole and rubbed it all over it for me.
Sounds about right.
Every match was spin the wheel, make the deal, except for the main event. And to me, the main event was fucking flat. It did not feel like a main event. I was just, I don't know, the weeks leading up to it, can they coexist? It's like fucking Matt Stryker saying, this is our sport. I wanted to choke every fucking commentator.
Dude, I've started watching Impact on mute now.
Is it the fact that they really haven't built up Braun Breaker as much as they should have? Like that they just kind of thrust him into this position? Is that maybe it?
Well, it's a combination of two things. They built him up as much as you can with this complete revamp of what NXT is. He's like the guy. Like,
yeah, but it's only been what, like 4 weeks?
Right, and that's probably why he lost the match.
And it's probably why it fell flat, because maybe people aren't invested in a guy that they've
All
only
right,
had
well, there
1 month
were
to
a
get
lot of
invested
title
in.
changes on the show, so you kind of had that feeling that this was like a really rushed out with the old, in with the new thing. So
I kind of like that all the women have the belts though. You know,
no,
like
there were title changes there.
no, like that they all, like all 3 of them, like that group, the Poison Clan. Or
Okay,
whatever the hell
yeah.
they're called.
Priscilla Kelly and
Toxic Attraction.
There you go, Toxic Attraction. That sounds like a fucking like an early 2000s, like sort of like grunge, but like new, like depressing kind of music.
Yeah, no, I have no problem with all the title changes at all, because I think did Roddy lose his belt too?
No, it was a non-title match.
It was a non-title match, right?
Odyssey. Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, which would make no sense if Odyssey held the freaking Cruiserweight Championship.
Right, because he's not under 205, right?
But he's also on 205 Live, which also blows my mind.
Still a show?
Oh yeah.
I don't know what Odyssey Jones looks like, but that name is fucking money.
He's a large black man with dreads, like a tank. He's built like a tank.
Dude,
that's fucking cool. Odyssey Jones. That's
why get rid of freaking Bronson Reed and promote Odyssey Jones? Like, they're doing everything they probably had planned for Bronson Reed, and now they're doing it with Odyssey Jones. Listen, no disrespect to Odyssey Jones, but it's just like, imagine if they were together on the same roster. Imagine like that kind of battle they could have, or if they were a team. Like,
let me ask you, Kev. Let me ask you a question here with Imperium. Why are they making it seem like Walter is going to be disappointed with them going after the tag titles?
They won the tag titles.
I know. They made it seem like, you know, how does Walter feel about you going after the tag titles? And they're like, we don't care what he says. I know they're in a faction together, but he's not the champ anymore, so who gives a shit what he says?
All right, so immediately my gut thinks, my initial reaction is that Walter thinks that they care more about themselves than him regaining the NXT UK Championship. That's an avenue they could go in a story, okay. But I also think that Walter's going to get called up.
Okay. Does anyone even watch NXT UK anymore?
A lot of people, I guess. I don't know the UK.
I couldn't tell you a fucking thing about what's going on over there.
It's because they're on Sinclair.
Sinclair, eh? All right, Sinclair. We're going to broadcast NXT UK now. We're not going to put Ring of Honor on your bloody station no more.
How do you have 160 fucking networks and you don't have an hour for Ring of Honor?
All right, because you know what? Because, Tony, it's a master plan. We're going to put NXT UK right on here. Cheerio.
How?
NXT UK with our champion is Russian. We're going to do...
Is he in a hurry?
Next, he's German, right? Is he German? Dragunov?
Dragunov, yeah. No, he's Austrian, isn't he?
Idea.
All right, Sinclair. So here's your new
Russian,
business model.
Isn't he? Dragunov, isn't he like Russian?
I think he's Russian.
I don't know. You're jacking off all the time, and you're Italian, so.
But here, Sinclair, we're gonna take Ring of Honor off your telly, and we're gonna bring in NXT UK with Walter. And,
look,
and Robbie Brookside. Robbie Brookside gonna be there. The British Bulldog, Davey Boy Smith, will be on your program. And
he's from Moscow. He lives in Germany,
right.
But he's from Moscow.
That's close enough.
I wonder if he likes the Scorpions.
Of course he does. Who doesn't fucking like the Scorpions?
The band, the Scorpions?
Yeah, the band, the Scorpions.
No, the fucking
Winds
animals.
of Change?
Why do you go Winds of Change? I mean, it's a great song, but come on.
Because I'll tell you why. Because as a kid, I liked Winds of Change because it was the only song that they would play by the Scorpions on MTV, and I really enjoyed that tune.
Wait a minute! No, they had the video with them in the cage, and all the women are shaking the cage and shit.
Rock You Like a Hurricane.
Yeah, it was.
Oh, that's I didn't know that was the Scorpions.
Yeah.
What?
So
hello,
you.
Hello, Scorpions. Don't sting me now. I
thought that was so cool. Like when they're all together and they're fucking doing like the rock thing. And
yeah, I know it now.
Just
now
going like this.
Tony, I didn't remember what happened on NXT, and I watched it.
And then they put all the bitches in coffins at the end of the video. How cool was that? You just see the coffins closing shut on them?
Listen, I was a big rock ballad guy in my kindergarten years, I guess.
So you were like a White Lion, Cinderella, like
I was a Mr. Big.
Fucking A, dude.
Dude, my introduction to the band Extreme was Wholehearted and
More Than Words.
More Than Words.
Of course.
Both
and I
fantastic.
And I got the cassette, and I was like, "What the fuck is all the rest of these?"
Dude, Extremes fucking, they don't get the respect they deserve. Nuno Betancourt, he can play the fuck out of a guitar.
I know, and I listened to it, but I was like 7 at the time, and I was like, "What is this? This isn't Wholehearted." When I was a kid, I thought the singles were the only things that the band did. So, like, I thought every song on a tape cassette was gonna be like the singles.
Kevin.
Take me from the magic of the moment on a stormy night. Little did tomorrow in the winds of change.
I think the first ballad I ever knew was Danger by Motley Crue because a friend of mine introduced me to Shout at the Devil in '83, and that was it. Fucking, it was over. Fucking over.
God.
Dude, Shout at the Devil?
Dude, for
Come
me,
on,
Kiss was when they were sans makeup.
Without the makeup.
That was my introduction to Kiss. It was God made rock and roll for you, or for
There
us,
you
or
go.
for everyone.
Yeah.
I was a sucker.
I still remember when they had their face reveals on MTV, and I was like, oh, look, 4 Jewish guys. You don't know that with their paint
apparently
on.
according to Johnny Swinger, Gene Simmons is on Impact now, but that's not true.
How was Impact Wrestling this week, Kevin?
I watched it today. 2 bangers.
2. Tony, how do you feel about a banger?
2 bangers.
I like a banger.
Chris Sabin, Ace Austin, Trey Miguel, and Matt, you'll appreciate this. Dear good close personal friend of Millionaire Matt, Rocky Romero.
Oh yeah.
Ooh, Jesus.
2 incredible bangers. There's probably more bangers on there, but those are the 2 that stand out. Trey Miguel retains his X Division Championship against Rocky Romero. And so we'll have a 4-way contender match next week, which is Macklin, Rohit, Laredo Kid, and
your boy, Black Taurus.
Oh yeah, Taurus Hogan. And so anyway, that's next week. This week the main storyline was Josh Alexander trying to get revenge on Moose, and a lot of other people feeling very upset with Moose about the way he cashed in his gauntlet for the gold championship.
Did you I'm sorry to cut you off, Kevin. Did you like the Moose promo?
All right, so I don't understand what the controversy is about. Was it because he mentioned New Day?
I didn't. I mean, I know people were,
and the king and the queen and all that nonsense.
Yeah, and he mentioned like being like the whatever the acknowledged the fucking the chief, and he mentioned everybody being the man, being the woman.
Yeah. So all right, so he said that like he's the greatest champion in all of professional wrestling right now. So then he's doing, I guess, digs at. I didn't hear the tribal chief part, but I heard the New Day one, and I heard the a couple of the other ones. I don't know if he mentioned anyone in AEW or not.
Yeah, I think you made a reference to everybody.
But yeah,
cool.
But it was great. He comes out before he even gets a chance. Eddie Edwards comes in because they got beef forever. And then Josh Alexander, as soon as Moose turns his back to him, Josh Alexander wants to get his piece in, set up a 6-man tag team match where Moose has to find 2 alliances to go against Eddie Edwards, Josh Alexander, and the guy that I have not brought up, but Matt always seems to bring up now, Matt Cardona.
So, I was going to say, what about the Minoru Suzuki? Didn't he come out and confront Josh Alexander?
After he took out Moose, I believe he did. Yes, he did. And then Minoru Suzuki is going to be on the team with Moose and Chris Harris. Not Chris. Oh my God, Chris Harris.
Wildcat.
What? Yes, that's right. Chris Harris is back after his pending DUI trial, and he will be. No, it's William Morrissey. I don't know why I thought Chris Harris. They kind of look alike, though. If you put Chris Harris in his prime up against William Morrissey, there's a little resemblance in the face.
Isn't Bill a little taller?
Oh no, he's huge. He's a monster. But I'm saying in the face, he's in the face they kind of look alike.
In the face.
In the face.
In your face.
So next week, Kevin mentioned the 6-man.
6-man.
Also, Mickie James defends her title against Madison Rayne. So I guess that whole retirement thing is a wrap for her.
Oh, for who?
Didn't Madison Rayne retire like last year?
Yeah, but she came back as a tag team with Tenille. They were in the in the knockouts tag team tournament dealy.
All right.
When that came back.
Hardcore country.
Well, listen, they got to fill TV time, so it'll probably lead to another rematch with Deonna, and then maybe Tenille comes out the next week, and then you have Mickie James and Tenille, and after Mickie James and Madison. No Brian Myers this week, which I found peculiar. Unless I missed it.
No. Oh no.
I know. I don't know. I don't know what I was gonna do.
Maybe the learning tree was closed.
Oh, you know what it was? It was BTI. Sam Beal fought VSK, and Myers was on BTI in the corner. That's right.
I was on BTE, and I was listening to BTS. Smooth like butter.
Are you part of BSK too?
VSK?
BSK. Bone Street Crew. Come on.
Fuck yeah, dude. For life.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah. Hey, you know what I did Sunday?
What'd you do Sunday, buddy?
I snapped my jack straps.
I saw that in the Discord. How'd you manage to do that?
DDP was like, jack him if you got him. And I started jacking him, and it didn't get him. And then
is that those things?
Pop. No, the bands that go on your arms or your legs.
But don't you start at your feet and go like that from it?
No. Those are bands. These are straps.
No.
They restrict. They're for BFR, blood flow restriction. Like they tighten around your muscles. What it does is it prevents the blood flow from going, so you build up more of your enzymes that repair your muscles. It's supposed to bulk you up quicker. As you can see, it's working.
Is it? I should have done yoga today.
You should have, but you didn't. Hey, look what I did instead. I'm eating fucking Halloween leftovers, bitches.
Dude, yesterday I found myself eating like.
Let me see that Tootsie Roll. To the left. To the left.
While I was waiting to reheat ravioli and sausage, I ate 3 mini Hershey bars.
How was that sausage?
Italian.
Fuck yeah.
How was your Halloween, gentlemen?
Trunk or treat got canceled. So we had like fucking $200 worth of candy that we pretty much just left on the front steps on Sunday.
Why do people in your neighborhood not trick or treat? Trunk or treat is the fucking dumbest thing ever.
It was for my kid's school, dude.
It was 20. Tell them to go out and fucking trick or treat.
My kid's 20.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
I was going to ask, is your kid still trick or treating?
No, he didn't do it. A few of his friends actually went out. I found out a few of his friends went out, but he was just like, You
know what? Your kid is smart. He was like, listen, no one's coming to our house. I'll have all this candy here. And I don't need to exert the effort going door to door.
Now, all we really have left is like Dum Dums and Twizzlers and a couple of bags of Swedish Fish.
Oh my God, you get the worst candy ever.
Well, that's why it was all left in the barrel. We had fucking tons of other shit.
You're a lever-outer is what you are.
You know why, Kev? We had this big tub. It literally looked like fucking Emmett Otter's wash tub, and it was filled to the brim. And to have to schlep this thing to the door back and forth, I said, fuck it, put it out there. And I said, my whole plan, no candy. I didn't want any of it left, and 90% of it went. So I was a happy camper.
Well, that's the move. Like people get all upset, like, oh, these kids took all the candy for themselves and didn't leave it for anyone else. I'm like, yo, that's the greatest thing ever. I'll put a bin out there as soon as it's gone. Turn off the lights, shut the shades, bin watch Breaking Bad. I
even put a pumpkin to hold the front fence so people knew to come up the stairs and they didn't have to fuck with opening the gate. They could just walk right up, grab all their shit, and walk right back.
You got a pumpkin doorstop.
Yes.
All right.
Got my pumpkin from Big Pete down at the down in Food Town.
Pete's pumpkin patch.
I went to Food Town to get groceries, and Pete had a big bin out front, so I fucking grabbed one and I fucking brought it home. So that was my pumpkin patch fucking picking for the year.
I went down to Pete's at Pete's pumpkin patch.
You know, Pete. Fucking Big Pete. You know,
I think we sold it to Sinclair Media.
He doesn't. He's missing.
He doesn't. You know Pete, right?
He knows who Pete is. He just isn't putting it together.
I didn't realize that where he worked. I never knew where he worked.
Yeah, and it's funny because instead of saying we're going to Food Town, we always say you're going to Petey's to pick some shit up. It's like, yeah, I'm going to Petey's.
Oh, Petey's.
I don't know.
Did he get a tryout at WWE as a producer too?
That's my story.
That's your story?
Yeah, that's all I got.
You had a good Halloween?
It was fun. I didn't have to fucking answer the door, and all my candy disappeared. So huzzah!
How
about you? How was your Halloween, Matt? Were you slinging pies in the shapes of pumpkins?
I worked all day.
So there you go. You did.
I worked.
Did you have orange sauce, or orange cheese to put on the on the pizza?
No. Who does that?
Did you put like pepperoni on to make like a jack-o'-lantern face on the pizza?
No.
That's a good idea, Tony.
See, it's gimmicks, fucking, and Matt doesn't fucking fall for it. Like you could have put mushrooms in the shape of a pumpkin face, charged $20 for it, and you would have sold 100 of them.
It's too time consuming.
Yeah, but that's extra money, dude. That's like twice the price. Twice as
Charge
nice.
people twice the price for a fucking dumb pumpkin design.
Of course you can.
They won't come back, buddy. So you
What if-
got it once. Congratulations.
What if you pre-cut the dough in the shape of a pumpkin?
Oh, and forget it. Now Matt's fucked. He's got to cut dough. I can imagine the
what is
four-letter
wrong
words
with
coming out of
two
his
of you?
mouth.
What's wrong with you two?
Listen, I'm sorry. That's Matt. That's what we would do at Pete's Pumpkin Patch.
Yeah,
Well,
man.
this is a
Pete's got
Pete's pumpkin
fucking
patch.
pumpkin-shaped pizzas.
No, I worked.
No, he's
in
got
the-
pizza-shaped pumpkins.
I worked when people came over and watched the World Series.
Did you put pumpkin spice on the pizzas?
That's right.
No, I hate you.
You know all them fucking bitches with their lattes are gonna come get some fucking pumpkin spice
Ooh,
pizza.
great point.
Fucking A, dude. Rubbing some of that fucking pumpkin spice on their titties, eating a slice
Oh,
of pizza.
all right. Now you
Come
lost
on,
me,
man.
Tony. Now you're out.
Come on, bro.
No.
That's the porn I'm into right now. Pumpkin spice smearing titty pizza fucking porn.
4chan.
Yeah. How's that going?
4chan.
You guys watch any of the AEW this week?
No, I was too busy watching 4chan. I actually, while you guys,
Watch all the
while I was
AEW
helping
this
my
week.
son, I managed to check out Kayla Sparks and Riho this week, and it was a good 2-minute match, and that was about it.
Well, yeah, that's what Kayla's there to do. The JOB.
Yep.
That's the only AEW out of all the AEW this weekend you had to watch.
No. It wasn't this weekend. It was like an hour or two ago. Weekend. You want me to put in time with AEW on the weekend? What are you fucking nuts?
I guess.
watched-
God forbid. God forbid you watch fucking wrestling for the wrestling.
Oh yeah, like I don't fucking watch any wrestling for this show. Are you kidding me?
What'd you watch this week?
I watched NWA. I watched Dark Side of the Ring. I watched Kayla Sparks.
Mm.
What the else? There was something else I watched too.
Did you watch? Tell me you watched Rampage at least. Daniel Bryan and Eddie Kingston, or at least you watched clips of it.
No, I watched the interview going into it. It was some fire.
Excuse my back. That was on Dynamite, right?
Was it? Maybe.
Yeah. When they
It
set
was
it
good.
Up. Oh no, that was Rampage. No, it was Dynamite.
It made me kind of want to watch the match.
Because
didn't, but
JT Dunn had a cameo. May have been Rampage actually.
That
Tony
was
Nese did.
Rampage.
Oh, can I tell you how fucking retarded? Oh, sorry. How stupid Tony Schiavone and Big Show and fucking Mark Henry are. Can I tell you how stupid they are? So I watched one
Tread
match.
lightly, I would
It
advise.
was the Elite Killer. What the Kazarian wrestled some dude. It was a 2-minute match. He comes out. They have his 2021 record, 30-6, right? Like, oh, he's having a great year. He's like, and then they're trying to make up stats like during the match. Like, he's won like 9 of his last matches and like blah, blah, blah. And like they don't know what they're talking about. And of course it ends with Kazarian getting a big win, right?
Mhm.
And Tony Schiavone's like, that's his 26th win of the year. Are you fucking kidding me? You just said he's got 30 wins on the year and this was his 26th? Fuck off.
All right.
Have
If
you
you're
taken
gonna talk
into
like you're smart?
Have you
think
taken
about what
last
you're
year
saying.
into account?
have you taken
No.
into the count tag team matches?
It was his record was 30-6. And then
That
they said
includes-
this
that
win
includes tag
was
team
his
matches.
26th win of the year. Fuck him.
It does
Fuck
include
'em.
tag team matches.
Tag team back again. They have no fucking idea what they're talking about on
So
commentary.
you're watching the C shows on AEW. What you're watching. They gave us Bryan Danielson and Eddie Kingston Friday night.
for free.
But you're watching Rio and Kayla Sparks,
Oh,
Frank Kazarian, and Jobber Jim.
no, it wasn't Jobber Jim. It was some guy.
No,
that
it's
was
Pete.
fucking.
It was Petey Pumpkin, I believe.
It was Pete Zaria.
Oh, that's good. All right, I'll clap for that. I have to, Matt. I'm sorry. I'd be a fraud if I didn't.
Matt stabbing himself in the
No,
eye
I know.
with
I know he
Greg.
hates it. I know he hates it. I want to talk about AEW because I watched both shows. I was home.
See, Kevin watched it. That's 2 out of 3.
What are you, fucking meatloaf?
Listen, I don't need to watch it. You guys do such a great job on Wednesday nights. I feel like I actually watch the show.
Oh, well.
Point,
You
actually.
know,
Especially
I
when
don't
you
know.
guys
I'm just
start
trying to
fucking-
get you engaged since you were fucking 2 hours late.
Ooh, do you have the top 5? I'm going to wrap the top 5 for everybody.
You
I
can
guess
pull up the
that's your
top five.
fives.
Daniel Bryan, he's the best. Eddie Kingston, he's just as good.
I actually had a Halloween themed top 5 tonight, actually.
Well, Kevin, let's talk a little AEW since Dick's not over there. Didn't watch anything this week.
That's right.
We don't have to go through the whole show, but give me your highs and your lows from both nights if you'd like.
Well, I think it starts and ends with Eddie Kingston and Daniel Bryan.
How did you feel about the aftermath of what we could potentially be getting
with Eddie Kingston and CM Punk?
Yes.
All right. So here's the thing that kind of confuses me about that, because you follow up like Eddie Kingston and Daniel Bryan. It's an incredible match. It's probably it's arguably match of the year. It's up there. And then you thrust them into something else with CM Punk, which is cool. It'll probably be CM Punk's most high profile situation. But to me, did they have this match with Daniel Bryan be so great just to feed him to CM Punk, if that makes any sense? Or maybe they do a Eddie Kingston Mox versus Bryan Punk thing. Is that something that's on your radar, Matt?
Well, I think you're
because Mox is doing his own shit, beating up baby faces on Dynamite.
Right, he's gonna kill Orange Cassidy this week too, so that's gonna.
Oh, anybody that wants to kill Orange Cassidy's aces in my book. Fucking kill Marco Stunt too while you're at it.
And I think you're gonna, I'm with you on that one. I think you're gonna get Moxley and Bryan Danielson in the finals of the Eliminator tournament.
Yeah, and I think Moxley wins it. To be honest with you,
ugh, Moxley.
Think so?
I do.
Yeah, Moxley.
I'll tell you why though, because I feel like while he's been doing his badass thing, like coming in and out, beating people's asses and just leaving, not doing shit. I think he may have. Did he have a promo, like a backstage thing? Anyway, that's not the point. I think that resurging him back in there is it now, Matt, when the winner of this eliminator, the finals is at the pay-per-view. The title match is not at the pay-per-view.
No. Well, the title match is Kenny and Hangman.
And Hangman. So we'll definitely get Bryan and Moxley. Oh, now it's at the pay-per-view.
But if Moxley's going full heel and Adam Page is your champion, because I think Adam Page is beating Kenny Omega.
I agree.
That ain't happening.
What do you mean that ain't happening, T-Don?
Ain't happening.
Why?
I think I don't care. Like, honestly, I wouldn't have cared if Moxley was the babyface and Kenny Omega was the heel again. I think you need to put Moxley back in a main event title match. Not that he needs it per se, but I just think it'll remind people, like, hey, we still have freaking Jon Moxley. Like, and the main event is where he needs to be every now and then, not every month, like a Omega does, or a Daniel Bryan does, or a Jericho might need to, or a Cody might need to. I think people need to be reminded that Moxley is a top guy. So
a lot of people love Cody these days too, huh?
So we'll probably get Eddie and Punk. I think Kate I saw Eddie and
Cody Rhodes. He's the best. His wife is also the best. They're on TV because they're the best.
Is that from Being the Elite or something?
No, that's. Yeah, I think Eddie and Punk at Full Gear is just a way to get both of them on the pay-per-view, and then after that, you can figure out what direction you're going to go. I think it's a matchup. I don't think you're going to get the same style of match. I think Eddie Kingston's going to beat the shit out of CM Punk, though. I don't think he's going to hold back.
Yeah, and I think Punk will welcome that, to be honest with you.
Yeah, so I look forward to that. I liked his match with Bobby Fish on Dynamite, CM Punk's.
Yeah, he's another guy that I think he had like one win. He only has one win since he's been in AEW, unless it's like a dark elevation.
I'm sure he got a couple on the darks.
Yeah, but like I think and I think I tweeted this out too. He needs, like, unless that's the idea for him and it's not a long-term contract or whatever, he needs a big win to me. But it's not going to be at the hands of anyone like CM Punk, obviously.
Bobby Fish, he's the best.
I like the idea of Pac, Malachi Black. I know they set up Cody and Andrade, but man, Pac and fucking Malachi Black in a fucking sign me up for that.
Yeah, and because Malachi Black and Andrade kind of kind of a dealie now, or is that just a one-time thing?
I think they have like it's kind of like we have a mutual enemy, so let's get rid of him. But I don't think like he's gonna be. I don't think they're like a tag team.
Yeah. So in Impact terms, it'd be like Moose and William Morrissey. They're just for the convenience, the super convenience of the common enemy.
Right. What do the white people say? Frenemies.
That's right. I had a point about that too. So Pac came out and saved Cody, if I remember correctly, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Then he did the backflip and he sat down like Malachi Black and then flipped him off.
Yeah. That was dope.
Yeah, it was fucking awesome. The Dark Order beat the Elite. I thought that was a super fun match.
Yeah. I didn't care for, and this is just me nitpicking, every single time the Dark Order does something awesome with an entrance, like I feel like the Elite, like they did the Space Jam thing, and now they did the Ghostbusters thing. I'm just like, come on, man, can the Dark Order live? Let the Dark Order live a little bit.
They lived. They won.
No, I know they won, and of course, at the end of the day, that's the bigger thing. But I'm just like, at least let the Dark Order come out last. You're the heels. Come out first. It's Wrestling 101, and unless you're the champ.
Dante Martin on Rampage beat Matt Sydal.
Yeah, Dante's great, awesome,
and
Matt Sydal I think is a underrated piece of AEW. I know we never really talk about him all that much, even though I think we kind of have recently, but he's an unsung hero of AEW because he's there to do what I guess maybe like a Bobby Fish is there to do.
Yeah, he can work with these guys and make them look good, and he looks good, and you get good wrestling matches every week, and that's really all you really want, right?
Yep.
Britt beat the Abaddon.
Abadoo!
And the trick or treat no disqualification match where the table didn't break.
Matt, who's the wrestler in Ring of Honor that is like, and I know her because I saw her in ICW.
Are you thinking of Max the Impaler?
I am thinking of Max the Impaler. Gotcha. That's it. All right, carry on. Sorry.
Let's see. We got the Full Gear card is shaping up. Kenny and Hangman, Britt against Tay Conte, Lucha Brothers FTR for the tag titles. A Minneapolis street fight between the Inner Circle and American Top Team, where I think you see Tom Lawler debut for AEW. And Darby versus MJF, plus the finals of the World Eliminator tournament. It's either going to be Bryan Danielson against Mox or against Pockets.
Now, is Tom Lawler officially, he's a top team guy, right, in real life?
Yes, I believe yes, because Dan Lambert was in MLW with that douchebag team. John Silver against Adam Cole next week on Rampage, and the Bunny faces Red Velvet in the TBS title tournament.
Oh, fuck.
And AEW announced that it's being reported that the Battle of the Belts will take place on TNT Saturday, January 8th.
All right.
As like a special.
I like that.
Seth Rollins, let's go to some WWE news and notes. Seth Rollins, he's going to get the next shot at Big E. He won a 4-way dance last week. Thoughts on this? Maybe we could have talked to our friend Earl Joseph here. WWE looks like they're going to do Labor Day weekend.
Oh, yeah.
Pay-per-view in the UK.
Yeah, with like triple threat matches galore with like people from all different shows and stuff.
Oh, boy. The brand supremacy?
Tony.
It's that time of the year for T-Donk.
Tony loves some brand supremacy.
Fuck yeah.
I think Tony loves brand supremacy more than brand supremacy.
Like for my asshole, like eating bran?
That's right.
Yes. Kevin made note of it before. P.D. Williams is getting a WWE producer tryout, and I believe Jimmy Wang Yang is too.
They were both backstage at SmackDown on Friday.
Wow.
They were both there in tryout roles.
How do you guys feel about the new directive that when it comes to hiring referees, they should be shorter to make the talent look smaller?
They should always be smaller. Always, 100%.
Taller.
I wish I was a
Wait, what was the directive, Matt?
They should be shorter to make the talent look taller.
Gotcha.
Referees short, talent grande.
Yeah, it's booking 101.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it makes sense.
Talked about Ring of Honor stuff. Kota Ibushi, we have an update on your boy in New Japan.
He's not going to make it back in time for the fucking.
Let's see. His vagina is still broken, so he can't.
Ooh, no
wrestle.
good.
It's rough.
Does he need some salve? I got some cream.
He suffered a right anterior dislocation of the shoulder plus joint lip damage. He's estimated to be out 2 months, which means he could be back in time for Wrestle Kingdom.
He will be. Guarantee you.
Ugh.
There's no way they're keeping him off the biggest show of the year.
Fair enough. That's a good call. We have new IWGP Junior Heavyweight Tag Team Champions as Robbie Eagles and Tiger Mask defeated Desperado and Kanemaru.
Oh wait, your fucking Taichi is not a tag champ anymore, or he's a
IWGP Heavyweight
World.
Tag
Yeah,
Team
there
Champion.
you go. With fucking what's his nuts, Zach, right?
Yeah, Zack Sabre Jr.
That's right.
Looks like
the dangerous Techers. The Techers.
Techers.
Fuck yeah.
Okada is coming to the States for some New Japan Strong tapings. He'll be at the Battle in the Valley November 13th in San Jose, California.
Defending his ticket to Wrestle Kingdom.
It didn't say. Doesn't say who he's wrestling yet. The main event will be Jay White defending his never openweight championship against Big Tom.
Fuck Jay White, but okay, that's a good match.
Let's see. It doesn't say here. Oh,
Big Tom is like a 14-time never openweight champion.
The New Japan Power Struggle is this weekend.
Filthy Tom defending?
No, he's not in New Japan.
Oh, he's in New Japan.
Power Struggle. Shingo, Zack Sabre, Okada, Tamatonga for the briefcase.
Because Tamatonga is the only asshole that beat Okada.
That's right. Your boy Tanahashi.
Fuck
taking
yeah.
on Kenta for the IWGP United States Heavyweight Championship. Robbie Eagles Desperado for the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Championship. The King of Pro Wrestling 2021 title will be on the line as Toru Yano wrestles the Great Okan in an amateur rules match.
Like one count pin?
I guess so.
Is that one of those exhibitions that we saw recently with?
No, this is going to be a real match, I guess.
What the hell was that, by the way, that exhibition?
It was Zack Sabre and Shibata in an exhibition.
I get my sandwiches on Shibata bread.
And the never openweight 6-man titles are on the line as Goto, Big Tom, and Yoshihashi defend against Evil, Sho, and Yujiro Takahashi.
Everything's evil.
Everything is evil. That's your New Japan information. We talked about Impact.
Oh yeah.
Speedball Mike Bailey is under Impact contract now.
Good for him.
Did he sign, or was it just like a public spectacle of him?
Oh no, he signed. He signed.
So
his
he's back
contract
allowed in the States now, right?
They had a picture. He signed his contract on Josh Alexander's back, didn't he?
Yes.
There you go.
Yeah, he was banned until March of this year.
Yeah, he had a 5-year ban for visa issues.
Yeah, because he came to work for Evolve and he didn't have a work visa.
I actually worked for Tier 1 around that time too. Got to call one of his matches.
Ah, there you go.
Look at you.
He was in the Fatal 4-Way to crown the first Tier 1 champion, which was won by friend of the show, Luke Hawks.
Ring the bell, Tony. There you go.
Ow.
With this Ring of Honor news, GCW picked up Bandito for their December 3rd and 4th shows in Dallas.
Is that Flaming Bandito?
Just regular Bandito. And they picked up Brody King.
Yeah.
It's their December 17th show, Blood on the Hills in Los Angeles.
Blood on the Hills.
FTR is heading to AAA to defend their tag titles, and they will be flanked by Vicky Guerrero, not Tully Blanchard.
Oh, Christ.
That's a great match, by the way. A great match. A matchup.
Now, I came across something, and I know we're late, and I know this is a long show, but this is something we need to speak of. They did that Dark Side of the Ring on XPW, right?
Yeah, we didn't talk about that last week, did we?
We didn't. But guess who's restarting XPW?
Supreme.
Rob Black is restarting XPW. There is already a new episode on YouTube.
He's out of his fucking gourd, dude. He was running a hamburger shack in Rochester, New York. That's where that burger stand was.
That's where he's basing this new XPW.
So XPW not only is coming back, it's going to be On our coast?
Yep.
Yes, it will be out of New York. If you throw in XPW into the YouTube machine, you will find the first. It's like an hour long weird thing. There's like I think the New Jack Vic Grimes match is somewhere in the middle, like a throwback.
Okay, so it's not new stuff yet.
Not
no,
yet.
he's introducing you. Like I saw a clip with Schlack. He'll be, I guess, a part of it.
Oh God, I don't want to cut this off, but that H2O.
Oh, Onita and Tremont.
Yeah, what you guys' thoughts on that?
I haven't seen it yet.
Me either.
I bet you it's amazing.
You would say that.
It's probably sick. It's probably really sick.
It's fucking disturbing.
Weren't your friends? Yeah? Weren't the Kirks at that show too? Weren't they booked on that show?
I'm sure they were. I'm sure it's great. That's what you like. But dude, freaking exploding, literally on fire, Matt Tremont. Like, mama.
Look, Matt wouldn't have come out of retirement if he didn't want the match. That's a fucking
no.
Match
It's on paper, it's freaking amazing. It's just not my. Yeah, but
go out in a blaze of glory.
Oofa. He did.
Jib Duggan.
Oh.
He got the butt cancer, but
no, prostate cancer.
Yeah, the butt cancer.
Prostate's not your butt.
Yeah, there's two different things.
That's colon
part
cancer.
of your butt, right?
I think there's an actual.
No, prostate's connected to like your pee and stuff like that.
But you get it by going up there.
Well, you can feel the prostate by going up there. That's
when you get.
But it's not part of your butthole. That's like saying your
No.
vagina is part of your butthole, even though you can feel it if you go in there. You know.
All right,
But there's a difference between prostate cancer and rectal cancer.
Yeah, rectum.
Damn near
Dr.
tandem.
Dunk, you got questions? Send them in.
I'd like to apologize to the family of Jib Duggan. He has prostate cancer, not butt cancer.
Yeah, but he had surgery. Yeah.
Surgery was successful, and he is home resting with all the Jibs in the world.
Jib.
My man, Jib Duggan.
So this might actually be the only appropriate time where you could tell the doctor, hey, I like the cut of your jib. The surgeon.
See, Matt likes to pretend he doesn't laugh, but he's laughing. He's got a smirk.
I'm not. I'm just lounging in my pajama pants, my Kenny Omega shirt.
Oh, pajamas. Can we go to bed? Are we done?
I had a successful trip to the Walmart and the Target today where I acquired many new action figures.
Zodiac?
No Zodiac. I got a Kevin Nash.
Oh, great.
I got a John Cena and The Rock WWE Hollywood ones.
Does the Kevin Nash come with Tord Quad?
The Ultimates.
The Ultimates. And I picked up a Santana and Ortiz.
Nice. You're
Target.
You're going to open those bad boys then, because you probably already have those, right?
They're already opened. The Target at the Rockaway Mall had a ton of AEW figures.
So wait, is this the new Santana and Ortiz?
No.
I thought you already had those.
Fuck no.
I do have them.
Oh, so now you okay.
We're stockpiling for the future. For the future.
You really didn't like the surgeon saying that I like the cut of your jib?
No, I never said that.
Okay.
Don't. Why do you listen to Tony?
It's late.
Don't listen to
I'm
me.
listening. I'm very easily influenced.
We got a jam-packed show next week. Christian Rocco joins us at 7:00.
Fuck
and
yeah.
Taylor Rust joins us at 8 p.m.
Are they a team, Rocco Rust?
They're not a team.
Yeah.
So
Rocco's
Tony will
Modern
be late.
Life.
Tony, will you be late for that show?
Fuck, I don't fucking know.
Will you be late for our anniversary show?
I would have been in earlier, but you guys were rolling with interviews. I didn't even.
Such a bad excuse.
I would have let you in. You know I would have let you in.
No, I don't like doing that because then it's like I don't know what you guys asked, and I feel weird. Then the guest is like, "Oh, who's this? Oh, who's Tony? How are you, Tony?" It's like it disrupts everything.
Your name's on the screen. Earl Joseph was a professional. He would have just rolled with the punches.
He let me
I
pee.
know. I was listening. I was sitting here waiting, and I was enjoying it. That's all. Hey, we got 10th anniversary shirts. We still have a few left. If you want one, wizardspodcast@gmail.com. $20 on the PayPal. US, it's included shipping. If you're out of the country, you could reach out to us. It's probably going to cost you an arm and a leg and your firstborn daughter. So if you really want to spend that kind of money, we'll hit you up. We'll get it out to you, but it will cost you quite a bit because shipping sucks.
Or if you want to give us your daughter.
No, I don't want anybody's daughter. Send it to Matt's house.
Look, if she's old enough to work, there's some manual labor I can get done around the house. There's still wood that needs to be chopped. There's things that need to get taken care of. I spent all day watching wrestling and sending the same Twitter message to every single guest that's ever been on this show.
I can't wait to go through that list.
And it has been super successful so far.
So what time is Miko Maestro calling in?
No. There's no call-ins.
No.
No. Miko's got his fucking Finland Independence Day circled. He circled it in fucking May.
Oh my God. He can't wait. He's like, talk to you in December.
Yeah, with his reindeer stew hanging out of his mouth, that fucking ghoul. And look, this new StreamYard, he should be so easy. We should have zero issues with him.
Nope.
No, you think there's going to be issues?
It's the Wi-Fi in Washington.
Yes, I just buy Sinclair radio.
We're going to eat Bean Boozled.
That's right. We will do first new Ring of Honor revamp. We play Bean Boozled.
Oh my God!
Play WCW. And
Ring of Honor welcomes new signee Miko Maestro.
Here's what I found.
I am the pure champion.
Yes, I am here for Ring of Honor, and I will respect nobody.
I didn't get to bring it up because Parrow was a talker.
Oh God! Yeah.
Oh, he's throwing his guests under the bus.
That's going to be a tough presser.
Not throwing him under the bus, but he said I brought up the Raw Horse, and we started talking about Lance Archer. Kevin won't eat Bean Boozle, but he'll try peanut butter and tuna fish.
Yeah, all right. So
that's gross. That might be worse than Bean Boozle.
That's kind of gross.
So in my head, you know how I pictured it on a rice cake, on 2 rice cakes with tuna and peanut butter, because I love rice cakes with peanut butter and I love tuna with rice cakes.
But then what would you do? Pancake them together like
be a little tuna sand.
Oh, that just sounds awful.
I'd try it because Matt, you know what? And I wanted to say this. I make a decent tuna casserole, right? And you know what I put on?
Butter. Oh,
and no. But I put weird shit on tuna.
Jizz.
Oh God. All right, that's pretty good.
Fresh squeezed mayonnaise for Kevin's tuna fish on a rice cake.
There's mayonnaise in tuna casserole.
Well, there you go.
A little bit, not much. It's actually more milk, dairy based. But I put
milked.
I put Brown's golden spicy mustard in my tuna casserole.
You mean Golden's brown spicy mustard?
Whatever.
Yeah.
Cleveland Browns, Golden's
brown frown,
spicy mustard. And I put like Italian cheese, like
Italian sausage.
All right, Tony, you're done.
I know I'm done.
You're done. Let's go, Matt. Follow us on Twitter. Follow us on Instagram.
Oh my God, follow us, please.
We'll be back next week with another humdinger of a show. Christian Rocco, Taylor Rust, tons of wrestling news and information.
Yeah, that Christian Rocco is a story. That's gonna be a fun one.
Yeah, and
I'm excited for that.
In the 10 o'clock hour, Pizzeria will be joining us.
That's right. Followed by Pete's Pumpkins.
He'll be selling pumpkin flavored pizzas and pizza flavored pumpkins.
That's right.
If you've stayed for the whole 3.5 hours, thank you.
Oh my God, fucking kill yourself, please.
If you listened, please rate, leave a review, tell your friends, follow us on social media, subscribe on all of our platforms, youtube.com/The Wizards Podcast, Shining Wizards, at Wizards Podcast on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, Twitch TV. Check us out, enjoy us, and we'll be back next week with another episode of the Shining Wizards Wrestling Podcast.
And if your daughter's of age, Matt's got some manual labor to do.
Yeah,
that's right. I got a lot of shit that needs to get done around this house.
Matt's hiring lumberjills.
Ooh, wah, 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 wah. Good night, fuckhead.